right, my friends, welcome back to the Swain Batty League. I'm AJ0 here in the TriCaster booth to bring you our first best of 5 of the season, our semi-final between ZSA and Flex Panther, and I am joined here by two other players who are not playing in this matchup, Mr. Elcat and Commissioner Thrifty. Gentlemen, how are we feeling?
Sharpening my
I think calling me a player is a bit far-fetched in this context, Swift.
Two people not playing in this match.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That is true.
I word slipped. You know how it goes when you're play-by-play too fast.
It's a sad day to not be on the Rift, I will say. But you know what? The announcer's booth is not a bad backup, as we are flying through some bands here.
Yeah, and real quick, I do want to point out, you guys, the first thing I want to call your attention to in this draft, on the left side, no Tank Axe available for Flex Panther. It is Salvo in the lineup. Tank Axe had prior commitments for tonight. You may have been listening on Batty Breakdown last week. We were seeing if we needed to delay this match or not, but there were too many other conflicts over the next month. It wasn't really feasible to. And so Salvo, the bench player for the higher seed here, did have to step in. And so I guess we really aren't that sure what this team is going to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, Tank Axe has steadily been increasing his presence on Flex Panther as we've seen the season go on and on. You know, he started off just kind of playing a few comfort picks and just being there as the team needed him to be, but especially in the last couple of weeks in their victories that they've been able to get, he's moved to more of a pivotal role. So really interested to see what they're going to be able to do there. We do see the respect ban coming out onto Wang with the Zach going away, not wanting a repeat of what happened in Game 3 of last week, which was a bit of a schlackening from my Wang on the amorphous blob. But do we think we see a little bit more, maybe some jungle-targeted things to try and give Salvo a hope and a prayer?
Yeah, everyone knows Salvo has been out of work for a couple of months, recovering from surgery and not able to work, blah, blah, blah. A lot of time where one could be practicing League of Legends, which he's done absolutely none of.
Okay.
He is absolutely not ready to step into this game. I don't know if this was just poorly planned in advance, if the team didn't know about Tank Axe's availability until very recently. But either way, no, I to be honest, I have very low expectations of Salvo. He looked completely lost the few times I've seen him in the jungle, both on stream and in practice. And I think there's going to be a really heavy burden on his teammates to carry tonight.
Absolutely. And I think ZSA is aware of that we see the bans coming out for some of the best picks for the respective roles. Lazy Laz has shown off on the Twitch a number of times. Obviously, Thundercunt, the one game that he's gotten to play Kled was an absolutely devastating match that they don't want to repeat. And the AP Cho, something they faced off with before, not something they want to see again. So really trying to deny a lot of the power that Thundercunt is going to be able to bring to the Rift and not have to worry about the jungle either. I think they're sitting really comfortable, and I hope that they have I think Respect and Joey have a little bit more awareness of what Heimerdinger does, as opposed to the last time we saw it when Tree played it against Fizzy in the Smash Bros.
See, the thing I want to point out that's interesting with that, though, is that, when they came into this lane, they banned Kaisa and they banned Xayah. They first picked Caitlyn. Those are three of Respect's biggest AD carries.
Yep.
But the thing is, by doing that, sure, they pinch him aggressively. They give this ZSA squad, the comfort picks. Shen has been a go-to for Bon Crank every single time. Albino Joe has literally picked Nautilus first rotation every single time it's been available. So, it's, they're giving away, what these teams want.
Talk to me about this Fizz ban, boys. This is something we haven't seen, to my knowledge, in any of the games so far. Is this a Blab pocket pick?
It is not really a Blab pocket pick. Blab doesn't really play the Fizz that much, but he has played it. He played it when, in the preseason, when people were trying to test things out. He picked it against, I don't actually remember what the matchup was, but I think it was Aurelion Sol, because it is actually an atrocious matchup for Aurelion Sol, and it's also an atrocious matchup for Vel'Koz. And I know that Blab picked it against Phoenix Blaze when it was played. So I think that was just kind of like a heads up there. They say, hey, let's pinch Blab's pool.
Yeah, and this I gotta talk about the Belveth here. The first appearance for Mommy Void in this SBL season, I believe. This has been a
season, I think.
Well, that would be correct. She did not exist during the last SBL season, Mr. Big Brain. Wang, 65% win rate in solo queue with this champion. He has been high on this champion since she was released. I've heard a lot of uncertainty of if this would ever be an SBL caliber pick because it is a little boom or bust. And to me, Wang busting this out in game 1 here, this is Wang saying, I know I am multiple tiers better than the player you're going to put in the jungle. I am going to dominate my 1v1 matchup, and I can carry my team. I will put you in the ground because I can play this carry jungle. And Salvo might not even know. Like, Salvo has very potentially never played against a Belveth as a jungler before. Actually, more likely than not, has never played against a Belveth as a jungler.
What?
Do you guys think it's bugged, or do you guys think that? Do you think one of them's not
I think
Caitlyn?
it's a pick. I'm messaging right now.
That's Varus.
That's Varus. Okay.
And shit.
Varus.
What the hell?
You know, the playoffs are here, and I'm glad that Riot is stepping up with.
Wait, hold on. What? What is happening?
Albino Joe left the lobby. Uh-oh. That's a broken client for Joey.
All right. Nothing like some super scuffed. Yeah. Yeah, I think the fact that like we saw the client fucking freaked out.
Guys, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think the client broke. I think they just didn't get the pick in time, and this is their answer. They hovered Caitlyn, and it timed out.
How could you hover Caitlyn when it's picked, though?
I don't fucking know, dude.
Yeah, that shouldn't be possible, right? I mean,
can't. It literally doesn't let you do that.
I'm an idiot at this game, but I didn't think you could even do that.
I can tell you're an idiot at this game because you're not accounting for the unaccounted, which is the fact that the spectator client can break in new and unseen ways every week.
Well, I mean, we had all the picks in. We had everything.
I was a quarter of a second away from taking my screenshot of the picks too. This is incredible.
It's okay, we got one.
Blab posted.
Yeah, I also have one.
Yep.
Yo, God bless Blab.
You would not be dead in the void.
This is good. I like having the context of the pick order. I'm frantically.
Sharpening my feathers.
All right, so let's talk about what we've got here. So, besides what the fuck 2 Caitlyn's,
dude, yeah, what the fuck? This is that's not till game 5.
But I do this Belveth pick. I think this works really well. I think they picked a really good team for it too. Obviously, there's a lot of other tankiness on the team with the Shen and the Nautilus, and so that's gonna play into Wang playing really high damage. So the question is, can Wang play high damage well?
See, the thing that has me worried about that is that you have Belveth is a early game power 80 jungler, right?
Mm-hmm.
High damage. They have a comp that supports it. The thing that I'm worried about is the fact that they have a low prio in every single one of their lanes with it. I don't actually know how the Poppy Shen matchup goes, but the fact that it's Thundercut versus Spawn Crank means that it's going to be you're going to have low prio in the top lane when you already want to focus on Herald. Ziggs has prio over Vel'Koz mid, and Caitlyn Heimerdinger has prio over Varus Nautilus bot.
You know, I'm looking at this screenshot, and I was ready to say how despite having the Caitlyn, being against the Heimerdinger is going to give up the pressure. Before I remember that wasn't the second Caitlyn.
Yeah.
Right, let's just make sure there's not a Caitlyn here.
I think we got it. Yeah, all right. We got all 10 picks lined up. We made it.
Yep.
We're doing it. But Tim, have you considered the fact that both Belveth and Vel'Koz are void creatures?
Oh, void synergy. Okay. No,
yeah,
I did not consider the fact that we're playing teamfight tactics, and that unlocks them the 2 void trait.
Yeah. They have 2 void now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but it's 2 Void against 3 Yordle, so, fuck. Play myself.
Unlucky.
I think Varus is technically Noxus, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Beats me, man.
Listen, when we get a slightly bigger budget, we don't really want to add any new players to the SBL, but if they're an expert on League of Legends lore, we might still be able to open a position for them.
Okay,
That's, I think, where we're at right now.
Just so what you're saying is you can just pay for me to play Legends of Runeterra nonstop because that's actually where all the lore in the game exists.
That's a good point, Mitch. That's a good niche for you. You don't bring much else to the broadcast, so we can really use you reading the flavor text on those Runeterra cards.
Oh, there we go. Lore boy's telling us he's not Noxus.
Damn it. It was a guess. I didn't know.
Thank God we have a real pro card gamer here on the stream tonight.
Yeah.
Shout out
Tim.
to Zed, who's about to watch his team go to the finals, he hopes. All right, let's bring this back. So the one thing I keep getting stuck on, Flex Panther, obviously the higher seed here, but that's a little out the window without Tank here.
It's so hard to come into what to expect, right?
Has other played any games on Sejuani? Hold on, I'm pulling.
He does. That's the only jungle game he has in his match history.
Okay.
I'm actually a little shocked that they didn't just ban that. But I also get the fear they have of some.
I like all the other bands more, honestly. See it once, see what the heck it does. If it's a problem, you can do it. It's game 1.
So obviously Salvo's one of the players to watch here, but man, you just look at this Flex Panther team, and it's if you listen to the way we've talked about all of these players this season, they should be able to carry Salvo. They should have a real chance here. Thunder, you've got people saying he's the best player in the SBL this season. Renai is the definition of Mr. Reliable. Tree, he's the highest rated in solo queue he's ever been. Absolutely insane prio in basically every game he's played. On this dinger that no one has an answer for.
Yeah, I'm very excited to watch the Dinger lane here because the Dinger Caitlyn, if they play this right, oppressive, absolutely oppressive.
It was Dinger Caitlyn in the game that they played against your team, correct? Or was it Dinger?
It was
obviously it was Dinger.
Remember. It was Dinger though, obviously.
I just can't remember if it was Dinger Jinx or Dinger Caitlyn.
Yeah.
I think we got some time. I'm gonna go hunting.
Yeah, you got some time to go hunt and figure it out. Yeah, but Dinger with a longer range ADC. Dinger Caitlyn is significantly more impressive than Dinger Jinx. Just a stronger laning champion, but yeah, I mean, this is like you said though, going back to it, this is my Wang's time to shine, right? There's a lot of pressure for him to perform. The last time these guys played, he absolutely popped off on the Zac. Just absolute monstrous game.
He really did.
Guys.
And it's in his court. The game's in his court. If he can do that again. That was against Tankax. This time it's Salvo.
Guys, wait a second.
What?
Oh, never mind. Mixing up my players. Don't mind me.
Mixing up your players.
There it was. It was the Twitch and the Heimerdinger.
Twitch Dinger. There we go. Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah. We've seen a lot of bands on that Twitch.
He's been playing the Twitch a lot. Whenever it's been available, he's been putting focus on that a lot.
And in that particular game, he went 9-0-10 with Blab going 9-0-11 on the Zet, or not on the Zed, on the frickin' Ziggs.
Oh.
Yeah, that was also the Kled game. So that was.
I think we're in right away, boys. Are we?
Yeah, we are in. We are on
19,
the Rift.
16, 17.
Yep. I'm right on time with you.
We're control shift Zing. We're
Oh,
chatting. We're objective timersing. Oh, we're ready, boys. And we are ready for a level 1 here from Flex Panther potentially, or are they doing all awkward where they just didn't cover one of the entrances on their fan out? Oh yeah, no, this makes sense. Salvo's not a jungler, so he's like hovering the bush of his red camp instead of an entrance to the jungle.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh, Salvo, you were on my team last season, and I was your AD carry, which is why I didn't bully these habits out of you.
So what you're saying is this is your fault, Swift.
No, it's Master Splinter's fault.
Ah, okay.
Because if I was the jungler on that team instead of Splinter, we win Game 5 of that series. I'm the reigning champion. I'm still playing. My team's the 1 seed again, and we're about to go back-to-back. But unfortunately for me, we don't live in that timeline. We live in the one where we live where what the viewers want, which is my voice in the casting booth. And nowhere near the victory screen. So we got both junglers pathing in the same direction here. Both junglers starting with the leash from bot. Obviously nothing shocking there, but increases the chance of a jungler interaction early.
So Tim, you talked a little bit about the strength of Bel'Veth, that she's an early AD jungler. What do you want to see out of Wang in the first 5-6 minutes of this game to really take advantage of this pick that he was able to secure for the first time this season?
Yeah, I mean, I want to see it early. I want to see early pressure, early ganks. I want to see some level of invade, if possible. The problem is that the stuff that I really want to see, it goes back to, is supported from his lanes having prio, and his lanes and on paper, based off of the matchups and the players here, none of his lanes have prio. So I guess the thing that I'm looking for here now instead is that maybe a lane surprises me in Snake's prio, or someone misassigns their role, or just an early control over the Dragon and Rift Herald.
I don't think we're going to be seeing that very much out of the top lane. We already see, the last time that we saw Thundercunt on the Poppy, very comfortable with the trading. We see Thundercunt go very, very low there early on.
Bonkrank going very low there.
Or, excuse me, yes, thank you.
That's super bad
very, very
for Bonkrank as well. Shen Spike has a very strong level 2 Spike. The fact that he's behind, and Poppy has Corrupting Pot and Biscuits here, so that little bit of damage that Poppy had, that's coming right back. That health's going right back up.
Yeah, both junglers are pathing in that direction, though Salvo's clear is a bit further behind currently.
Yeah, that's expected. Bel'Veth does clear quite a bit faster than Sejuani.
Yeah, but I want to. This could turn into a prime position for a 2v2 topside. I'm curious to see what we get here. Wang can be there first to back up Bonkrank, who's recovered some of his health, but the fight goes long.
Yeah, health pot plus Doran's shield gonna do some work there, but the director
just kind of waiting for this
exceptional.
wave to crash into him. This director camera's in love with the bot lane. Dude.
I mean, it's
the only lane that matters.
it is the most at the beginning of the season we were in a bot focused meta. We're a little bit less so now, but in this matchup, this is the most important lane to watch. I think
Yeah, and so I'm not watching the lane, I'm watching the mini-map, but Thunder there goes roaming down to the crab. Oh, this could be a gank coming out of my wing, though. Gonna see if he can get anything to stick onto Renai. A little bit of damage. Shield coming out nice and early. Renai does not want to get popped here, but despite what he wants, he will run a Salvo. What in the flying fuck did you think you could do there?
He did get a flash.
Ooh.
He got a flash. He got a flash out of Phoenix.
He did get a flash out of Phoenix. The interesting thing here is that also, if you notice in the chat there, MyWang pinged Ziggs' flash. Ziggs did not flash there.
Yeah, maybe he corrected that it was his Ziggs' heal.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm surprised to see, Blab thought he was safe. When I thought he was safe there, could bounce away and was not able to. And there we go. That is a thing right there. I don't know if you guys caught that. That makes this lane so freaking oppressive. Not through the hook out, and Heimerdinger just throws a turret right in front of it.
Definitely going to be on the reaction times of Xmas Tree, but if anybody knows about two things, the combination of these two things, playing with Heimerdinger and playing around hooks in some capacity, I would put my money on Tree.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. If I'm Resquect, I maybe don't mind playing against this Heimerdinger, just because if I'm constantly shoved into tower, I can CS and try to get some mid game. Don't have to worry about taking any risks here.
Very true.
Yeah. It's interesting thing is that, like, I'm not sure how, like, both of these teams scale, actually, comparatively to each other. I think they, like, have, like, pretty, like, consistent powers over, like, the whole game.
I would agree with that. I think this completely comes down to gameplay if this game goes lit.
100%, and I think that goes back to what you were talking about before. It was some trading coming up from
these guys
ThunderCon, chasing him down. He's just going to walk away, though. Ding 6, able to get out of there. But
the extra stats from Ding and 6 there were really key for Crank. Otherwise, I think we may have seen Thunder try to threaten something with the flash.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Wang, though, wrapping around for a gank here.
Oh, no, don't greed Thunder.
ThunderCon trying to collect that wave in
My
the
Wang
tower,
hanging on to it.
but knockup will land. He's chasing, flash comes out, but there's not going to be any more follow-up here. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, they get the flash out of Wang, though, in return.
So
both Crank and Wang low as Salvo and ThunderCon are turning this back around on them. We see the ult coming in from the Ziggs. Crank is able to get the taunt, able to get out. My Wang goes back and gets the knockup. The amount of damage going out of Salvo, he's able to get first blood. My Wang barely staying alive, but he gets the first blood in what was an absurdly extended trade out of both sides.
And some excellent footwork from the people from the side of ZSA.
No, not
Crank, what are you doing?
Oh,
You didn't need to do it.
he saw glory. If he landed that taunt there, that was a kill. But just a couple centimeters short.
Turned a situation where they had just the straight up win in the extended fight into a relatively even trade here.
No,
and getting that
that's
kill.
not a relatively even trade. That is a massive loss for ZSA. Crank just sacked a wave and a half there. He sacked a turret plate. Yes, he didn't get the assist, or that there wasn't an assist going over to Thunder for that, but that is now a massive, oppressive advantage in the top lane for Thunder against Crank, who was already winning a trade every time we looked at the top lane. This is going to turn into a problem lane. And Tim, you were worried about there not being a winning lane on the map. Well, that is not true any longer.
Just not winning for the side of CSA.
I was worried about the lane for ZSA is the one thing, and so that's not what you want to see here. As that makes Rift Herald incredibly hard to focus. As like, I mean that's a huge part of the Belfast play. Like, is access to these early objectives.
I'm just up here. I'm mixing up my plays. I'm calling trades wrong, and it was all just a ruse to bait Crank in. Now Crank is running for his little ninja life. There's no flashes here, so he should be fine. But he's not that fine under that turret. If he gets slammed into the turret, he dies.
Absolutely. I do agree that it was much worse than it could have been, should have been, hopefully would have been for ZSA. The only saving grace is the kill. My Wang got the kill. If he can transition to that into something, but I think you're right. I don't think you take that with what you ended up giving Thunder in return, and the fact that he's up a considerable amount of CS. We see that knock into the wall come up there, immediately gets popped, and yeah, I think the exact prophecy that you just laid out, Swift, with ThunderCon being able to turn this lane into a problem, deny prio on the top side for My Wang, and just kind of run away with this game is definitely coming true here.
There we go. There's the prio. They have the prio on the way. The wave shoved in. They go, hey, we're 5v4 on the map. No channel.
Ult here.
He does have
not
ult.
have TP. If they want this.
If they want this. And I think they do. All the members are pulling into position here, but they're going to be a little late. They're going to have come down to a smite off. And all coming in. Ziggs bomb coming through as well. Salvo secures the dragon, but at what cost here? Xmistry picking up a kill. Phoenix Blaze answering back. All the members of ZSA piling onto Salvo as he's trying to kite it out, but it is looking like he will be able to flash to safety. Ziggs bombs coming through left and right. Nice flash hook from Joey, though, going to secure the kill as we find ourselves in a 2-for-1 trade.
A 2-for-1, but there's so much lost in the top lane in the process, and Wang was not able to outsmite Salvo. Wang, you said you were going to outplay Salvo here. You needed to come away with that one because your Shen just gave up his game to join you, and you barely came out ahead in that fight. just a very scattered team fight from ZSA. There was no focus. Risquect is like running headfirst into the pit because he wants to finish off Lazy, but he doesn't actually have the damage to really threaten anything as he's tanking Dinger turrets. His front lines are running the opposite direction. Vel'Koz is shredding the entire team, but not the damage to follow up on it.
We do see, though, that they take this opportunity. They see the Poppy back. They're moving on to the Herald here. Let's see if Flex Panther is able to sniff this out.
They've got Renai Circulation and Salvo right nearby. Thundercunt is there, but it looks like they're just going to walk away.
Yep, Herald is going to go down.
And them getting Herald, honestly, kind of a surprise given the status of the map as a whole, and a huge win for ZSA.
Yes, that was a really great opportunity by Wang and company too. They had just a small window there with where the lane state was in the top lane to go and rush that down. Counting on Salvo to not predict something like that, and for his teammates.
Salvo went there as fast as he could. It wasn't even that he didn't predict that. Even if he did, it was actually like
but
the big thing was that after that fight at Dragon, they lost that fight. They won the fight at Dragon by like a 2-1, but their health was so much higher. They still had people on the map. Everyone on ZSA had to recall, right? The people who did survive were at low health, and they just went straight to Herald after that Dragon fight.
Very timely pickup for them. Obviously, Flex Panther did get the Dragon out of that trade. They're up about 600 gold, and a lot of that, actually, I would...
Yeah, can we show player gold on stream real quick? Look at what Thunder is doing to Bonk.
It's not close. Yeah, an 1,800 gold lead in the top lane. And he once again gets knocked into the wall. Some turret damage coming onto Thundercunt, but basically nothing. Just going to eat into the Gray Shield there. He is up 2 levels. He is up nearly 50 CS. Obviously, the waves are crashing in here, and Boncrank might be able to pick up some, but still, this is just a disastrous lane for ZSA.
And really bad micro from Boncrank there. Knocks himself up. Sounds like a 6-digit tag. I need to look up. And speaking of digits, we got digits of health dropping here. Fight breaking out. Joe gets the ult on the Lazy, but there is 0 follow-up. But Wang is here on a flank tree zone so far. Beautiful footwork from Tree, though. Buys himself an opening. They are pumping some damage into Salvo, but it's going to be hard to finish anything. Walking actually albino. Joe goes down in the back.
Oh, my goodness!
Off my camera there. And now Wang and Phoenix plays tucking tail. Renai not able to get a finish, but 2 kills stolen.
I don't know if that was planned or not, but the idea of using the Caitlyn ult first before the Ziggs ult was so fucking good. It was brilliant. Caitlyn ult comes through under Risquect. Then we see everybody moves to body block it in. They're all lined up. The Ziggs bomb comes through. There's nowhere to run.
It's so much tower pressure now. They're going to take a 3-plate spot, maybe even 4. Thunder is maybe going to 1v1 tower take in the top lane while this is going on. There it is. That's 5 plates. It is
5 plates and first tower.
You're Poppy. How do you 5-plate someone is Poppy?
Yeah, and he gets a TP here. He's going to get to deny any major effective use of this Herald. They had the large wave. The Herald charge will go off, but...
I think this goes, I mean, obviously this goes back to the completely absurdly unnecessary engage from Boncrank after they were able to get first blood in the top lane and just kind of honestly throwing the lane away at that point. But another point that I want to talk about while we've got a second is we talked about how disjointed the team fighting looked from ZSA when they engaged on that first dragon, and even though they did win, it was messy and they barely came away with it. And I think we saw just as much unsureness, just as much seeming confusion out of exactly what the team is supposed to be doing, who they're supposed to be going for, and when they were going in the bot lane engagement. They seemed like they had an idea of the early position and just completely flubbed the execution.
Tree broke their ankles. I mean, you saw that. That man.
True.
That was some fancy footwork.
As mechanical of a play as you can do on Heimerdinger. But we don't have any more time because we do have Dragon being started here. Big advantage in the pit for ZSA. Phoenix zoning Salvo away. And this might just be a free take. Wang does hit the smite this time. It is 1 apiece on Dragons.
Yeah, ZSA having good mental awareness, good evaluation of the map state here. Even when things are not going right, they are still able to they know when and where they can pile on and pick up an extra objective here, despite the fact that things were not set up for them.
And that's going to be so huge here, because this is, you do not want to be down 2 dragons so early. The pressure would be building so fast at that point. But this will now, it gives that ZSA something that's going to slow this game down a bit. You know, they're not 12 minutes away from a soul threat. Now, Flex Panther has to play a lot more intelligently. They have to play this out a bit more honestly, even. You know, utilize ThunderCon's pressure. And there's a chance here for ZSA.
Now, Albino Joe comes through here. The hook's going to clip the wall.
You can't block bombs with the Ziggs mine, right?
Block. Oh, he could like
block hooks.
You could block. You can't block hooks with it, but you could knock up Nautilus out of it.
Okay, but he did clip the wall there.
Yeah, he clipped the wall there. Yeah.
The way it happened, it looked like the mine blocked it.
Yeah, no,
that is
it's
what I saw as well.
It looks really weird if like technically like. Because, like, once the hook lands your CC, but, like, you know, he could do it. Like, if the hook's going to someone else, he could knock Nautilus out of it. It's like the person only gets drugged halfway, and then Nautilus goes wherever the hell the satchel charge blasts him.
There it is. Boncrank, stop knocking yourself up, man. It's just embarrassing.
Wang going
nice
down.
knock up.
Denies the...
But his team's not there right away.
Gets ulted out of there. Meanwhile, we've got a fight in the bot lane. Albino Joe going to go down to a massive amount of damage coming in from the 4 members that were down here. And is ZSA going to be able to pick up anything across the rest of the map? And it really doesn't look like it. A awkward engage from Wang and Boncrank onto ThunderCon provides them with absolutely nothing.
Poppy takes them to outplay City yet again. They had so many members, and Thunder, the potential MVP of the league, just walks away with his life. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Albino Joe flashes and dies on the same frame, leading to a tier 2 given up.
Yeah.
And
I have to imagine that he had that buffered from the CC, and then right as it came off, the Caitlyn headshot comes through, and night, Tin Man.
And this is just a nightmare start for Zed Sweaty Asshole. I mean, this game feels worse than the gold deficit. I think it is worse than
it is worse than the gold deficit, 100%. As, oh no.
Crank.
I don't think he's going to be able to get away from this one. Unfortunately, he gets caught pushing here. ThunderCon looking to go ahead and pick up the killing spree.
Oh.
I mean, has Boncrank played against Poppy since the rework?
I legitimately don't think so. Watching
I
the
guarantee
way that
you
he's
he
walking
has.
around this champion.
I'm not guaranteeing shit, man. He just does the same thing.
Was he awake when he was playing that game?
I know the rework was almost 10 years ago, but...
Was he Boncranked when he played that game?
Maybe he's Boncranked right now, and that's the problem.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Doubt.
Good play here from Flex to go take the Rift Herald. They're going to try to crack open.
Herald will take this tower here, opening up the last remaining outer and just giving them full control over the map here.
Yeah, I don't even know if they need it. Wang is trying to threaten something.
Shed also to come out, but it's not going to be enough. Dunk!
Bye-bye.
Oh my goodness, everyone's dropping it. No, the KO's not going to... Oh, the KO barely gets blocked. Joe, Spider-Man's out to safety. And all the wheels are off this car at this point.
Yeah, man.
Absolute
disaster yet again. I mean, there's nothing that's gone good for ZSA in this game.
Other than first blood.
Yeah, other than first blood. Other than marginal things. You hit a 3-pointer in the first quarter. That doesn't matter at all. You are now down 2 tier 2s before the 20-minute mark, as well as the tier 1 in the other lane.
And I just don't see how they're going to be able to just define their way back into this.
I think I got to take this further backwards. I think I got to take this to the draft. We said this was disrespectful from Wang to pick this Belveth, to say, I'm going to play the damage champ, the carry champ. I'm going to style on Salvo. And Salvo was like, nah?
Yeah.
And this team, like, how many of these weeks have we been like, oh my God, Wang with the tank play, the setups, the assist, doing the ugly work to let his teammates carry that has been so impressive. That's what ZSA is missing here. This isn't a team that needs to win through their jungler styling. They need Wang on flanks, dropping Maokai ults, Zac jumping over bushes. This Bel'Veth provides none of the things that have been integral to this team.
But Xmas Tree finds himself in a very sticky situation.
And I think they might have
we're going to see a base race here.
Yeah. Multiple people recalling, they have to be on the same page here. Now Thunder's coming in. He's going to try to disrupt this, and he pulls an entire team out.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Shelly's going to charge on this T3.
Oh my god, now Flex Panther moving on to Dragon. No room to breathe. The Xmas Tree goes down. ZSA thinks they have a window. And instead, they're just scrambling at every corner. The traps go down, the Ziggs mines go down. It is a rough approach onto this Dragon. And they're just not going to be able to make it in time. They may find a salvo for a complimentary gift, though. Oh my goodness, never mind. Scratch that.
Salvo with his 5th kill of the game. Who needs assists when you can carry a 0 for 3 in the Dragon Pit? And this is starting to feel like all she wrote. Respect lays down the chains, but will it be enough to save him? Salvo is gonna take lives, and Shen is gonna try to save him.
He will.
I'm not that sure, because they are going forward. There's the knockup. Salvo is dominating in Bone Crank. I think you're going to lose your life as well. He does get the shutdown on Salvo, but Thunder wants to make a statement, but he comes up dry here. But he's going to, it doesn't matter. His team is there to back him up. They took the tier 3. They're taking the inhibitor. This game is as good as over.
At 21 minutes and 40 seconds, the inhibitor falls. There is only one tier 2 left standing on the map. They've got... what in the world could this game possibly be other than a victory for Flex Panther at this point?
And I gotta harp on the Bel'Veth some more, because I think all of us that have played in the SBL for like years and years, we've been in this situation where like you think you're so much better than another player that you just throw away everything that your team has done well to do the thing that you think works in that matchup. You take on this solo queue mentality, and I think some players get so much more guilty of it than others. And this is just a massive misstep. You're like, what has ZSA done all season? It's been jungle tank play setups every single time. And now instead you're on a back foot in a best of 5 here.
Yeah. Every time, exactly. Every time it's been 3 tanks, 2 carries, 3 tanks, 2 carries. Play through Respect, let Phoenix Blaze get something done. And exactly like you were talking about before, Swift, Wang on the flanking champions, on the Amu, on the Maokai, on the Zac, playing the champions that he needs to let the rest of his to facilitate the rest of the map functioning. And when we don't see that, we see the team just does nothing. There's nothing happening anywhere. And
it even happens it goes so much further than that as well. It's like they pick it in a draft that like it just does not make sense with their team.
I think we're going to see Wang go bye-bye here. Wang is going to get popped. The ult lands onto Albino Joe from Salvo. They're going to chase him down, gets the knock-up on the Salvo, but ultimately it's not going to be a month as Xmas Tree comes in, gets the little bit of turret damage, and says good night to the deep sea diver from the little B turrets. And Flex Panther is going to turn right onto the Baron, be able to secure this nice and quick. To the point that we keep on bringing up as well, with My Wang thinking he is on paper, and he should be on paper, so much better than Salvo. Salvo is the fucking kill leader on Flex Panther right now,
and has the highest KP.
And 2, 9 of the 14 kills he's been a part of on the one champion that he plays. Maybe we see something change in the draft as far as banning the Sejuani away from him, but one of our biggest concerns coming into this game was Salvo being able to slot into the team and be functional, and I think we have that question answered for us, gentlemen.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to maybe try to put the hammer down here. Salvo's front line. Look at how long that hellfire has lasted. He will go down, but there has been so much chunking. A kill on the bomb crank. Blink and he dies yet again. Tower is going down here, and there is no help on anyone to defend here. Caitlyn ult nearly gives Wang his 5th mark of shame, as this Baron wave is going to crash a second tier 3. They cannot afford to let this fall, but I don't see a way for them to defend this.
Yeah, as Salvo trades his life 1 for 1, but it makes more than enough room for this Flex Panther squad that just marched right into the base.
And there we go, the desperation ult out of respect, but you got to be careful what you ask for, young man, because Thunder might just take your entire team away from the inhibitor. It's down. Albino Joe too far forward. He's down. Baron Waves crashing first. Tier 4 is down. The second is being chunked. Desperation coming out of ZSA here. They're trying to get somebody, but Thunder's Hellfire just doesn't budge. And Lazy Laz, the assist leading AD carry, chunking away here. The Nexus is exposed. Wang has one last chance, but yet again, welcome to Outplay City at the hands of the cunt. They're gonna get the taunt on the Lazy, but he has the cleanse. He's kiting, he's flashing. His team doesn't give a damn. They're playing for KDAs. They're playing. So they should probably play to end here. They don't have a lot of health here, and they're gonna blow this actually, unless Stelvo can he do it? I don't think he can.
He sure can't.
Oh no! I don't want to cast more of this game.
Or gets a triple kill. I mean, this is the start of the ZSA comeback, if that could possibly exist.
It can't. This game is over. This is a baby mental team. Remember.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right.
This is not a comeback from behind team. This is not a grit team. This is respect Pad and his KDA.
I mean, that's the mental you got to be most concerned about, right?
I mean,
you gotta be.
Oh,
you
got the rest of the
give-
series to go.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, if the game's already lost, like, do everything you can to get respect all the kills that he could possibly need. That way he's in the best mood possible going into the rest of the series. I like the strategy here. They realize they fucked up. They're just trying to get what they can out of this, the silver lining, if you will.
I was gonna say Dragon is up here, but with 2 inhibitors down and a Nexus exposed, although 1 inhibitor just respawned, that's actually really huge here for ZSA. But this is going to be a pretty clean take the Dragon, march down mid lane. That tower is already low in the tier 3.
Swift, are you going to sit here and tell me that a team down 7k gold, 2 dragons, and only has 1 tower that is barely alive on the map and no individual member that's performing especially well or far ahead isn't going to be able to withhold this this barrage?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
I know it's a wild thought.
I'm just clarifying.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that
I'm surprised that they're
taking. I've taught you about negativity.
I am surprised that they're marching it up mid. Honestly, there is only this one turn. Oh my goodness! Down goes the Xmas tree. Down goes Albino Joe. Those supports for each side down. But My Wang gonna go ahead, take away the damage. But instead, Caitlyn all falling if he needs to play. Shen all coming through onto My Wang. Thundercut is going in though. Not My Wang. My Wang getting sent out of the fight here, along with Bong Crank. Renai Circulation picking up the tower. Inhib going to fall shortly after, as once again, we're getting very clowny.
No, I think this was low-key kind of clean out of the side of Flex Panther. And
It
now
was.
they are 1 mistake away from ending this one. And Wang is going to be the one to maybe make that mistake and pop by the cunt. And now we're seeing some kiting, some damage coming out. Bong Crank, you can do absolutely nothing in these fights as Ziggs and Caitlyn are going to shred through this inhibitor. We are crashing back at the Nexus. The health bars are low, but I don't think it's going to be a repeat of the last fight. Let's pad some KDAs a little bit. Bong Crank, you're going to die again. Somebody, please.
Oh my
please,
goodness.
guys,
Are we going to see another Nexus hold?
No.
No. There
All
we
right,
go.
They got it. They did it.
Padded. Game ended 1-0 for Salvo and the Sex Panthers. I mean, oof.
Whew.
Wang, 6,829 damage dealt to champ.
That's not what you want to see out of out of the 80 carry jungler that he has wanted for so long. I was actually talking to him before this past weekend, and he was saying if my team would let me play Belveth. Well, I'm sorry, my friend. I think we can see why the team might have been a little bit hesitant on that in the past.
I think that's going to do it for game 1. So we're going to give these players a few minutes here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back for game 2. We'll see you soon.
Want me to wait while you go get them?
All right, my friends, welcome back to the SBL as we head into our second game here, and no Shockerino there. Poppy immediately off the board.
It was a very quick ban out of ZSA. Bonkrang saying there's no fucking way I'm playing against that again.
Well, now I'm just mad.
Yeah, and one thing to note, didn't note this in the last game, but no Thresh ban either, which is something the Tree has been drawing pretty consistently this season. It's been banned 6 of the 9 regular season games. Played it in multiple of the games it was available. Been an incredibly high presence pick here. I wouldn't be shocked if we see it, but also like they might just run this dinger in until it stops working. And with the Caitlyn picked away, well, Jin, okay.
Jin out of Lazy Lads. Have we seen? I don't think we've seen a Jin during the regular season either.
We have not seen it, but yeah, he plays Jin.
Yeah.
You know what? I like it. Lazy is not the carry for this team.
He
Set
really,
your boys up.
He really isn't. And Salvo going to secure the Sejuani again. Obviously looked fantastic on it last game. Much better than expectations, to be perfectly honest, considering he's played a whole game of Sejuani in the last 10 days that I could find on OPGG. And yeah, just a really easy pickup for him. Lazy Laz has just looked comfortable on basically whatever he's played, and I think he's just such a good fit for that team.
Yeah, and I don't love them letting this through. It's hard to drop a ban. Like, don't get me wrong, but if you think a player is bad and they can only play one champ, I just really think you need to pinch that and roll the dice on making them turbo ends. And I got Bonkrang disconnected from the lobby here, so we'll give these guys a second to get back in.
Client exploded again.
At this point, nothing too shocking with the clients.
No,
But
nothing.
perfect. This lets me go into a long rant here. Listen, Respect, if you ask Respect, do you think you're the best player in the SBL? I think he's going to say yes. Do you guys agree with that?
No.
Well, that's because you don't have that dog in you like John does.
I think
No.
it depends. I think it depends on like what day you ask him and the
Yeah.
mood that he's in, because I think there are days where he would say that he is the best player in the SPL, and I think there's days where he'd be like, I'm probably one of the better ones, but not the best.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to say he's having the best season in the SBL. I think he'll, make up your general reasoning about team situations and things that have gone wrong and not playing up to his ability. But I'm inclined to think he thinks he's the best player in this league. I think that Twitch ban is the one that you got to think of dropping. I think you need to give your team the priority to ban other things. And if you are the dog, you should be able to play against the rat.
Well, now I'm just mad.
Yeah, I mean, I think I know a lot of people have a lot of hatred for playing against Twitch. And he's just one of those champions that really polarizes people, man.
It's always been wild to me. Like, I get it, like what Twitch does. We're getting by the way, I'm getting baited. Sorry, Blab saying Jin is Caitlyn, and I was like,
No, that's definitely a bait out of Blab. That's 100% what
Never
that
mind.
is.
I know better. I don't know, man. Like Twitch, you pick Twitch and you lose your lane. That's how it goes. Like at some point, somebody needs to like do the thing where you just roll through Twitch.
Yeah.
But that's not gonna be this game. Salvo's gonna get his comfort again, as Flex Panther wants to take a decisive 2-0, and they are gonna be going for a very heavy CC comp here.
Once again, the Maokai and the Zac bans coming up against my Wang haven't really pivoted off of that. Do you think we're going to see a Fizz ban again in an effort to let Phoenix Blaze have a more comfortable laning phase on the Vel'Koz? I
don't think so, honestly.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, there's the Ziggs ban.
I want to see Ziggs Aurelion Sol maybe banned here, or maybe the Vigard that Blab's been playing a bit. I don't know. Blab's
I don't think the Aurelion Soul, like, Blab had like a really unimpactful game on the Aurelion Soul, and like the champion's been nerfed a whole bunch. I don't think that was it, but I definitely really like that Ziggs ban.
Yeah, I love the Ziggs ban. From the side of Flex Panther, I love more targeting at Wang. This presumably forces him onto the Amumu if he wants to go for the thing he's played the most this season. Although I do think a lot of those picks came earlier in the season. It still could be obviously very different than Belveth. Oh, good. Ban old traditional Orianna.
Blab's played it this season. He's the only person who's really played it this season, and he's eaten quite a few Orianna bans, as that's kind of been like his pool of champions has really been the Ziggs, Ori, Vel'Koz.
Yeah, so Blab, he has 3 games as Orianna, and then he has another 3 bans as Orianna. So it's been pretty high presence, 2/3 of the regular season games.
Yeah, Renai's been really heavily on this team, waiting till 4th, 5th pick to be picking. I think he's almost all. I can't say for sure for always, but I think the vast majority of games where they have been red side, Renai has been taking 5th pick.
Yeah, and I do like that, and we do see Janna coming out here for Albino Joe, kind of one of his staple picks. I've always hated this champion, to be completely honest, but I do think this is a really logical place to pick it. I do like this pick.
I like that. I would say I like this pick, and I also like the Orianna ban, especially when you look at this team of Sejuani and Malphite. Like, these people want to go in, so let's give ourselves a way to get out.
Ooh. The Kindred coming out. That's kind of going against this is just going back to what we talked about, towards the tail end of the first game, right?
Oh man,
Mitch,
I think
you played the least League of Legends of anyone on this channel, so I want to ask you, calm your thoughts for a moment, listen to your heart. What does your heart tell you about this Kindred pick? It's Fizz! It's Fizz! That's hopefully not what your heart's telling you about this Kindred pick.
That was not what my heart was telling me. I was waiting for my heart to speak to me, and suddenly I had somebody screeching in my ears. So honestly, my heart's a little bit confused right now.
That's good.
But
I want to leave your heart confused, because Fizz is going to sure as hell leave my heart confused. I love it.
I think my problem with the pick again from ZSA is that it doesn't feel that much different than game 1. We swapped around things a little bit. Like, obviously the Kindred ult,
I know,
like,
their comp is so much worse than game 1.
The Kindred ult can do some
no,
neat
their
things.
comp is
Tim, take it away.
No, you know what? No. There's a point in a time when you need to argue, Mitch, and you should have learned this a long, long time ago.
In
boot camp, when the big guy yells at you, you shut the fuck up. Guess what? I'm the big guy right here, so you shut the fuck up.
Tim, tell me about this pick. What's wrong with Kindred?
Do you want to fight?
Tell me.
Like, they picked themselves into a corner. There was no good jungle pick they could have had there at the end, but like, this team has no engage. Like, your only answer is a Shed Taunt to engage and force a fight. Sure, you could kite back forever against this team, but like, if you don't, once again, they find this, if you don't win your lanes, what does this team do?
Nothing.
They absolutely had to have Wang on a tank here. This Bonkrank is the entirety of your team's defense, and I mean, we saw last game, Bonkrank got his head bashed in. Bonkrank was as bad of a game as you'll ever see in an SBL top lane. And I know that there's some SBL top laners that'll give him a run for his money. Bonkrank has to go even for this comp to work. And then this is such a peak. Your only tool is to kite back, disengage, deal damage as you're moving out, poke the enemy team, and then eventually turn the fight. Every time a team in the SBL tries to execute this comp, they just turbo int and lose.
It is an insanely tough comp to play. It only plays well from ahead. And on top of that, like, how do you engage in this team? Like, how do you fight against when they have the tools of Jhin, Sejuani, Malphite to, like, force fights? They can open with all those fights, let alone the fact that you can also just open with a Fizz Shark. And then if you want to try and engage in them, how are you walking through? Like, you can't just walk into, like, Timer Dagger turrets.
Excuse me, I think you're both forgetting about the incredibly well-placed Jan and tornadoes that Albino Joe is famous for that are obviously the majority of the engage on their team.
No, I mean, no, I think Joey's there's a lot of pressure on Joey to perform extremely well this
There
game.
really is. There really is. That's kind of a joke, but it's also kind of serious at the same time. Like he needs to be they need to win their lane. I think you were exactly just talking about that. Like, this team needs to win. This team needs to play from ahead. They need to win from ahead. And I think a lot of that execution is going to be on Albino Joe and on Respect. And I think that is the lane that they're absolutely going to have to play through, while everybody else just tries to not do as poorly as they did game one.
And the problem with playing through bot lane, you do not win lanes with Janna.
Right.
You could replace Respect with 2017 Uzi I down there, and they're still going to go 50-50 on CS. And there is just an obscene amount of pressure. Joey has to be the best player in this game for his team to win. Like, you have to be absolutely flawless.
I think the other one that could be is MyWang. MyWang could be the other one where you can be the best player in your team, and you could win.
And it's just, man, it's so hard for me. This is the last 9 champs Wang played in the regular season. Zach, Starner, Maokai, Amumu, Maokai. Played a top lane game. Amumu. Nocturne in week 1. This team has hard settled in on Wang being the tank player for their team. All of this team's best moments have come on the back of that. And I've been saying it for half of the last half hour because I can't drop it. I can't believe they're just throwing this all away because they think they're going to style on Salvo. If they lose this series, we asked on Daddy Breakdown last week, how often do teams just lose in the draft? This could be some of the most egregious losing in the draft we have ever seen in the SBL.
100%. One thing I do want to call out as we're getting into the game here is that Bong Crank is using a new Shen skin, so that's obviously going to be the difference maker in the 1v1 matchup versus Thundercomp.
Did you just borderless?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, miss shit. Are we synced up, by the way? 52, 53, 54?
I'm good.
I'm like 1 second behind. We'll bounce up. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hell yes.
101, 102, 103.
It's smaller.
Perfect.
Perfect. All right.
So here we go.
There is something I've talked about like before, where like sometimes like there is times when you can pick the harder to execute comp and it can work, and like it's the right call, but like
there's a lot of layers to harder to execute.
And this is this comp is so much, is in order of magnitude, multiple orders of magnitude more difficult to execute.
And you're picking a difficult to execute comp into a comp that is just very easily going to 5-ball. They showed us that they had better team fighting prowess in the first game, and they have engaged, they have CC, they have lockdown, they have the ability to go in on people, and you're picking a very difficult to play comp into honestly a pretty not the most straightforward because of the Fizz and the Heimerdinger being a little bit out there, but in the grand scheme of things, a much easier just engage on them and fuck their faces composition.
Yeah, the Caitlyn's gonna do a lot of work in this bot lane to help against the Dinger. I'm surprised to actually see that they picked the Dinger into the Caitlyn, but I think they were so happy with it after game 1 that they just decided we're just gonna keep rocking it.
Yeah, I don't blame them to see what they can all force out here.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because like they don't have nearly the same level of pressure.
I do always enjoy watching Bonkrank and Thundercomp in the early game.
But we do have a Wang coming for an early
gank.
They want to, and Thunder doesn't see it until the absolute last second. The flash from the Malphite, he's going to walk away, but he gets very chunked. Wang, though, is going to go take 2 turret shots. That means that his team is going to know Wang is going to be off the pressure for a while. And that means Salvo can come force this flash out of Phoenix.
Yeah, that's going to be a flash that you really want. I'm surprised to see that Phoenix Blaze took Barrier here, because Barrier will not be enough to save him from Fizz.
Which second summoner would you have taken instead?
TP.
That would make sense, yeah.
Yeah, you take TP here.
Wang going for the top lane looked so good at the beginning, but then
Joey.
just oh, Joey having to burn the flash there.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
that's
got
gotta
little
feel
too
bad.
aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing that I'm curious what's going on in Respect's head after that. I'll be honest.
I like the amount of attention that we give to what Respect is thinking at any given moment in time. It's always an entertaining conversation.
Listen, when you're the best player on your team, it doesn't matter because
my
Wang is
goodness,
the worst
first
player
one.
on his. Renai is ready to go and put him down in his own jungle.
Yeah, and that's so rough. My Wang does not get a mark either. Both crabs secured no first mark for Kindred.
Yeah, and he is so far behind Salvo right now. Salvo thinking of doing something aggressive, but decides to go for the safe play. I like it. Wang will finally start cleaning up his jungle here, but he gets double crabbed. Salvo got a mostly full clear. Didn't take his stone bros. As a Bonkrank, oh my god, he has the flash. I was like so confident he would get out of that. And Bonkrank's picking up right where he left off in game 1.
This is just looking pretty. Oh my god! Almost gets poked down by the Q there.
This is looking just disastrous on all ends.
Bonkrank, you have to leave. You can't defend that.
Right? I don't think he's not trying to defend it. He's just trying to soak the XP here. But the problem is, like, he's dangerously... Like, the thing is that he knows is that, like, Malphite's gonna hit 6 before him. And if Malphite hits 6, then you just die there.
Yeah, watch out. Malphite has basically no mana here. That's the one thing that's kind of letting Bonkrank stay around and soak some EXP here. But, man, he loses so much potential CS.
He's up on farm, actually, right now, oddly enough.
Yeah, very fortunate.
Oh,
he
gets him with the taunt.
Well, in the mid lane, we do see Renai going in, Salvo there to back him up. There is no flash on that spell, guys. That auto's going to follow Kindred all the way to base.
Yeah, the barrier. That's like I said, the barrier, like, if you get hit by the shark, like, the barrier just is not going to be enough. This is a very rough matchup for Vel'Koz.
Yeah, big gold lead on Salvo, big gold lead on Renai, and then marginal gold leads in the other 2 lanes, and that is going to be a 1,700 gold lead already.
This Flex Panther, yeah, ZSA did sneak the Drake off screen. Director Kara tried to pick that up at the very end. The point, that's the one thing they have going for them. Kindred is able to pick that up, but it seems like Flex Panther is just firing on all cylinders. They're just taking that momentum from the last game, and they are just rolling with it.
Yeah, and the Dragon, in this matchup, that's pretty rough. It's not worth being down in your jungle matchup to be getting Dragon as Kindred. Kindred really needs to be even or ahead. And there's a lot of pressure on Wang to find something. He is going to try to find something here in this top lane. Thunder, he has no backup.
From
He's going to just
behind.
auto, and Thunder's going to just ult him for safety here. The the teleport comes on a shot. I missed it because of the skin, and that means they're actually going to be able to chunk out and slay Thunder. This is huge. Wang is on the board.
Yeah, that's so big. One, he's on the board, and he also finally gets his first mark, which is, like, very late for a first mark on Kindred. It's like getting that on the board is so big here because, like, he hasn't gotten a single one of the scuttle marks.
I missed it. There's that ward in the top river. Did Wang path his way around that, or did he?
I
think Thunder comes. He did not path his way around. He came through it. But, or at least he got stolen at, like, the very last minute. But the thing was that Thunder, I guess, like, didn't think about the Shen ult, or just was, like, too deep by the time he saw it. And oh no, it's shark time.
Oh no.
Chomp chomp.
The
Bye-bye.
worst part is he flashed it too. Flashes it, still gives up his life, and this. Ugh.
Yeah. Yep, that's...
And so kind of taking stock of the map here, fortunately things going all right for ZSA in that top lane, but Resquect is down, 3 full waves, and we're still so early in this game. We thought that Caitlyn would be able to effectively farm and start getting some prio or at least, matter.
Yeah, the only winning lane they have right now is top. And that's... I mean, Shanna definitely can do some work here. We have seen this team pull off some big turnarounds off of like an early 5v5 fight off the Shanna. They've done it quite a few times. Most notably like in their games against High Expectation. But man, that's a lot riding on it. They really need to make sure that this next 5v5 goes well in their favor. That, like, they get a good Shen ult, they get a turnaround. But Shen ult's not up for another like 35 seconds. And
yeah. One thing to note here, Wang is currently working on that Riptail. It seems to be he's going to be getting away with it as Salvo's in the bot lane.
Oh, Thundercon's sniffing this out here.
Circulation making his way
my
up
Wang
too.
going to ult, but Renai's circulation is going to be on top of him here. Laser beam coming through. Yeah.
Little
baby shark.
Shark of shame gonna snipe the kill.
And Renai looking to have his best game all season here.
Ooh, Salvo coming in with the ult, landing it right on the Phoenix Blaze.
No mana on Renai though. That was a huge mistake from Salvo.
They did get the barrier out, which is like a plus. I mean,
to be honest, that's worth, but it's awkward. It's like you made a misplay, but that forced a misplay. So like, drug emoji.
Yeah, because the thing is at this point now, the scary thing is that like without barrier, Renai can kill Phoenix Blaze from full without.
That's a terrifying place to be.
Yeah, that is when Fizz can start killing people without ult. That is the nightmare scenario, right? Like that is not where you want to be against. Like, and he can do that to every single person on this team besides Shen right now.
I really want to call out what we're seeing pay dividends of. Well, as I say that, some trading going down, but I think Thunderconth is going to be able to just walk away from this one. They're both sitting so low, but nobody else near them. They're just going to get out of this. But
it's a decent time to reset here because we might see both of these teams pathing towards Dragon. I think both of these top laners would want to have the teleport available if something's going to break out in these next... as I say that, Thunder's going to teleport straight back to top lane as Bonghang's resetting. But Phoenix Blaze Nightmare going to continue. The Ignite comes out. I don't think that's going to quite finish off Melkaz. And now Wang's coming forward. He's not going to do a whole lot. Renai has to blow both of his summoners, and he does not get the kill there. But here's the better jungler. Salvo Wang doesn't get the jump over the wall. Renai with his 4th. Oh.
everything just turning up tails over and over again for ZSA. They're going to be able to move right down to the Dragon. They have Cryo on that. The Fizz just going to walk down. The Janna and the Caitlyn just going to sit in lane, get themselves some farm, and that's going to even out the Dragon score, even though ZSA was able to snipe that one early on. And you kind of got to wonder, where do they look to go in this game next? The one lane that the one lane that's ahead, they can't really play through that effectively, and the one lane that they wanted to be ahead is down almost 30 CS as of right now.
I mean, this is rough. I think the tough thing is, like, it doesn't feel like these things have been going as blatantly wrong for ZSA as the first game. So many of these plays have been close, but no time to think. Renai sees Vel'Koz, nearly kills Vel'Koz. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, Albano's just flashing. He's got a Shen ult coming, but they'll pop right through it. Lazy with his first of the game.
Yeah, Malphite ult stuffs the Shen ult. Malphite ult being forced out, I believe, on the top lane from the Kindred gank, but it's not looking good here.
Not at all. And that Fizz is going to be terrifying because, you know, one of the things that we talked about for the difficulty of execution for the composition for Zed Sweaty Asoul, a lot of that comes down to the fact that they have little engage, they have little in the way of the easy to land CC like Flex Panther has. as somebody who's probably more than anybody else played against Fizzes in terrifying situations like this, if your team has this level of CC and lockdown like Zed Sweaty Asol does, I got to imagine you're just terrified at all times of that stupid fish fuck.
You have zero control over the fish, and like that's like one of the things that was a huge problem with their draft. Like, obviously the fish was picked last, and I think it was a great last pick. It was a beautiful example of R5, but like they drafted themselves into this such a tough scenario here with the comp that's just doesn't do any particular thing super well besides like 1-4-1.
We see Salvo come up, get the easy kill for ThunderConth, even out that top lane a little bit more, and nothing really coming up heads here.
Yeah, man, just an absolute disaster class out of Bonkrank in this series. Just no awareness of the game state and the likelihood of a gank coming at that time. And the one thing that was kind of going okay-ish is now falling apart. Flash out of Phoenix Blaze, but he is flashing the wrong way. This is going to be slow. He's going to get both the summoners pop of Phoenix Blaze. You do not have a chance of walking out of this one, my friend. The CC comes down to damage. Oh my god, actually. I cast their curse myself, but it's still a 1-for-1. But in the bot lane, the dinger gets popped. A 2-for-1 across the map in favor of ZSA, and they finally get something to go marginally right.
Yeah, they desperately need this. As they're looking for the dive here, Kindred Ult is available, so they can set up a very clean dive onto Jhin if they need to be, but Lazy Last doing his best to clear these waves. Finds himself in danger here. Once again.
And Lazy, don't take too many risks here. I think
Power
so
going
tight.
out, and a very strange set of defense. First turret going over to ZSA off of a nice gank. ThunderConth trying to race to it. This tower low, but not dead.
That is really big.
Yeah.
For ZSA. It finally gets something going right on the map here. Now maybe they have a chance to start applying some map pressure in a positive way. Although this top tower shouldn't be long for this world. Bonkbank's got to risk his life to try to keep these creeps from crashing. And it's not going to be enough. The creeps are going to take it. That is a 1-1 on the towers. And the
and we see the flash and the ult.
Bonkrank, your health is going to melt like some butter in the hot sun. Bonkrank, why not give up a flash on the way out?
No, he's safe. Oh! He's safe, and he baits him in. My Wang coming through, gets turned around, but the wheel comes through. Cheese wheel's not going to be enough. My Wang flashing afterwards, and Phoenix Blaze picking up the kill.
Yeah, Blab making the right play here, though, getting a bunch of pressure on this mid-tier one. Not quite going to take it, but he's going to come close. But ZSA, they have cauterized the wound at the least.
Yeah, no, the bleeding has stopped for right now. The last couple minutes have been looking drastically better for them.
You know, something we've talked about a number of times with ZSA is, you know, the meme is the baby mental team, right? But I think it is a really good sign that even with the beginning of the game going the way that it is and basically not having any winning lanes, that they're still willing to continue to fight and continue to scrap in a lot of these situations, and that we're finally starting to see them pull something together. I think it's a good sign for where the team's mental game is at right now.
And as much as you've been harping up on this game, I think, almost had a steal there. Rockets coming in clutch.
I don't know that ult from Salvo. You're not on Jinx.
Maybe he thought he was. Ooh, Wang getting caught out.
Wang has the ult.
Yeah, force the Shen ult. I was gonna say, the one thing that like you can say is like the surprising thing, the thing that has held this ZSA squad together is the Shen. The Shen is saved, like, he's maintained, like, he lost his tower, but he's maintained some level of parity with ThunderConth. And we have seen so many ults save so many lives this game.
It's really fortunate for them that the laning phase went so much better this game because it's allowed Bonkrank to make these ults and like be impactful with the shield, with the presence.
Yeah.
And now we do see a 5v5 breaking out here at the pit.
Fizz coming around from behind. We see him just on the bottom side of the Dragon Pit trying to get an angle.
Yeah, they've got Wang Zone so far out. I think they need to just start this, but I'm not surprised with Salvo in the jungle that they're very hesitant to pull any triggers. But they have a big advantage. I think they need to use it. This Kite team, how are they going to rush into you? They don't have a way to face check. They just die. Thunder doing a great job zoning so many members here. And I think ZSA is acknowledging this. They're giving this up. They have to go for something, and I like this. Drop the Rift in the mid lane, but a good ult on a Thunder drops so much damage, and now his team is here to back him up. Here's the scary fish. Gonna nearly pop Wang. Shelly's gonna crash. No one has fallen here, but this 3v5 will be enough to stop Shelly, defend the tier 1, and they're gonna pick up Dragon in the process.
Yeah, and despite what was a nice audible here out of ZSA, Flex Panther, you know what, they get to have their cake and eat it too. They get the Dragon, they get it, and Salvo says, we're not done yet. Flanking coming through, Jin picking up the kill on a Caitlyn. Vel'Koz beam coming through, but is not going to find enough. A double kill for Lazy Laz.
Just as we were praising the audible that they were able to call in the situation that they absolutely did recognize that they had lost priority on the Dragon, they overstay their welcome. Wang gets himself out of there, but the rest of the team just kind of sticking around. And Renai,
I love it. Lay down the pressure, put the fear in them, get that flash out of the Vel'Koz. You committed absolutely nothing. No ult, no summoners. Scare the lights out of Vel'Koz. Take his tower. Set your team up for a reset on tempo.
Yeah, just as things were starting to swing back in their direction, we see just a little bit of mistakes in macro play, but like we've harped on, when you're playing this difficult to execute comp and you're already behind, you can't afford to make those kinds of mistakes.
No, and we're seeing here towers falling on the sides. All of the outers gone for ZSA.
This last 5 minutes, despite how not ahead he was, has been really masterful from Thunder. He's done a lot of things well, ulting at the right times, knowing how to apply map pressure, but also be there with his team. Just a lot of being in the right place at the right time, which is a flaw for every other top laner in this league. And you can kind of see what top lane is supposed to look like from the way Thunder's playing this game. You don't have to dominate your lane. You just need to go prio side waves, be ready to pressure towers when that's the play that's given to you, to show up to fight when it's not. And we see he's taken both of these side lanes now. He saves the mid tier 1 with a beautiful ult. Thunder still, I mean, this is, if you're an MVP in League of Legends, you need to still be impactful when you're 1, 2, and 2. He's absolutely been impactful.
100%.
Yeah,
you know,
honestly, just an impactful performance so far from every single player on Flex this game.
Absolutely. You know, we talked about we talked about the title that we've given to Tree and to Lazy Laz and how reliable they are. But honestly, that the entire team, I think that's really the strength of Flex Panther, is the team's just collective reliability. Salvo excused because we just haven't seen that many games with them. All 4 other members of the team just regularly perform the way that they are expected to, and you don't have the situations where you're like, oh, this person needs to be our carry. We need to have a team comp function in this way. All of them have deep champion pools that they're able to call out on.
And the Shenon's not going to be enough. Oh my goodness.
Barrier stand united, both shields just massacred. Wang has to pop an ult to have a chance of saving his life. Shannon's gonna ult Salvo in, but that's just gonna set Salvo up to try to finish off Wang, but he's not gonna get it. Respect gets another kill here. Now Renai running backwards. Bonkrank wants to get a taunt, but Bonkrank, you might have bit off more than you can chew. Rushing backwards, Thunder has now come in on the TP. A flash to death from Bonkrank, and Thunder again, the tip of the ult. Takes the kill, takes the turret, and anytime you think things are starting to go well for ZSA, they fall apart on the 11th hour. So, no one ever pings the bounties because they're happy, right?
Oh no, Joey just does that. That's like his thing.
Okay,
he always just pings bounties. Yeah.
I don't play solo queue, man. I don't know.
A 500 gold bounty and a 650 gold bounty on the 2 carries for Flex Panther.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Lazy Laz, like, well, like a lot of people we've barely mentioned at this game, but like him and Tree Loki have been having a phenomenal game so far. Just an immense amount of pressure, kiting out these fights. Baron going over to Flex Panther now.
I was just talking about the strengths of Flex Panther, and I think that's exactly the point. Is that we have talked about Thundercomp and what he's been able to do in this game. We've talked about Salvo and what he's been able to do. We've talked about Blab and the fear of God, the fear of the fish god that he's been able to put in the team. You could pick any of these lanes at any point during this game and talk about what has been going favorably for them, how they have been playing well, and what they're able to do for the execution on the champions that they picked. That's the strength of this team.
Yeah, and I mean, this is like, and like, you said, like, you know, people were like, maybe Salvo. I don't know if it's just the Sejuani or what, but the Salvo we are seeing tonight is not the same Salvo we saw at the beginning of this season.
Well, the most important thing is he's able to be carried, and he is.
He's not. He's doing more than these people to carry. He's making great engages. And, oh my God! Speaking of great engages. Dude, these like the combo of this team with like the Jin ults has been so fire. Like they fucking, you see Jin ult open up and then you just know, and if someone else comes in from out of nowhere and just gorgeous.
Yeah, we still got a few minutes left on this Baron, and the Sharks coming through, and his 2 ults gone, but they get a flash out of Vel'Koz zone, everyone off of this tier 2, and now there are no tier 2s on the map. 11K is this gold lead pre-25, and now we are going to have 2 tier 3s being sieged here. Is this the last stand for ZSA?
Yeah, Cannon Minion chipping away. John Shield going to be able to mitigate some of that damage. Tornado as well coming through, but Thundercomp duking it out with Bong Crank in the bot lane.
Yeah, and ZSA, they need to take this nice and slow. They have no ults here. Like, let the Baron creeps do their thing. Try to get the poke down. You have tools. If anyone overstays, they're welcome. You can take the pick, but just give it time.
My way's gonna walk into Renai, but Renai opting. Oh. Never mind. Yep. Okay. There we go.
Goodbye, Wang.
He thought about it for a second. He's like scared for a second. He's like, oh God, there's a kid. Oh wait, I can just kill this.
That was a real mom, get the camera moment out of Wang.
He did die with his ult up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he got popped like a condom.
I think both those players were surprised to see each other. But the thing was that, like, it's like
Blab reacted.
Yeah.
By pressing his
yeah, Blab reacted, and also Blab's buttons hit a lot harder right now.
Yeah, and I like this. Try to end right here. You have beautiful pressure. Your ults are coming back up, and there is no disengaging this goal difference. Is there?
Oh my God, this base in shambles. 2 inhibs down. The turrets, they have basically, there's 2 standing, but they only have 1 turret's health between the 2.
This is the only thing we can knock Flex Panther on, is they just do such a shitty job of ending in these like kind of open situations.
And I think this one was like a way more wise. They saw the situation. They're like, we don't have waves. We're done. We're backing off. Versus like the last time they overstayed, they gave up, 4 kills with it. Like this game is been very clean for them.
I think they want to play clean, and I think they want to play decisively, and I think they're definitely going to be able to do that from this position. Again, like we've talked about so much during this game and talked about during the last game, good fucking luck finding a way back into this game, ZSA. I don't think it exists, but I mean,
it is.
I've watched
not with these picks, man.
I've watched NA League of Legends. I'm not ruling anything out, but like 99.98.
Oh man, and Wang doesn't even get to have his own jungle. The Dinger has claimed it. These are unsafe lands. There's turrets in these bushes. Well, yes, no, this is no longer the camp of ZSA's game to win. This is Flex Panther's game to lose. So you see a 2-3 split here, looking to see what they need to do to put the final touch on this game and secure a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, and I like this. Get the wave set up. Keep Blab around there so that he's threatening a flank at all times while you crash these waves.
Yeah, no, it's great positioning here as we see. They trap line set up, but from Caitlyn, but they just can't even defend it. They have supers coming in. They're gonna have a double super wave in the bot lane. That's gonna have to pull Bong Crank away. And now we see wave crashing, and here's the
There it is.
initiation.
I think that is going to be all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen.
Kindred ult blocks so much damage, but it's just
It
not
does, but
enough. Lazy Laz is godlike. Thundercunt going to survive. Xmas Tree picking up pieces. Caitlyn gonna find his mark. Lazy Laz juking it out here, but a nice flash gonna dodge Bong Crank's taunt flash. Oh my goodness, the mechanics here, but Renai Circulation joining us on the legendary Jin ult now coming through, looking for its mark. It's going to find one shot, two shot. It is not enough. The fourth shot lands, but
More awkwardness on the closeout here, but there's not a lot of health bars left. But oh my god, they took the towers off screen
Yeah.
there, and it doesn't matter. I was gonna say, I think they can end.
Oh, they
and
can
I think
definitely
I
end.
thought right.
And once again we see a sub 30-minute match in the between these two teams.
Decisive games.
Oh man.
I mean, this is like all-time fastest best of 5 in the SBL territory that they're challenging.
If we have one, yeah. I think if the next game is sub 30 minutes, it's almost assuredly. I don't think we've had a 3-0 that was also sub 30 before.
Again, look at this damage to champions. Just an absolute oof on the side of ZSA.
Rough.
That's going to do it for game 2 here. We're going to put a few minutes on the timer, let these teams and these casters catch their breath. And we will be back to see if ZSA has any fight in the tank or if they are going to roll over completely like a rotting animal. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a few.
You left your brave pants at home.
Tim,
Want me to wait while you go
you
get them?
are the most aggressive count in of any streamer in any baddie league I've ever worked with. You guys off the camera don't understand. He's like, all right, we are going to go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I'm like, hi, it's game 3. I just bet a year's worth of Bitcoin on this to be a 3-0. And the question here for me, I have always been a big believer that there's so much more in the SBL than just competing to win the championship. I think every step of the ladder is meaningful. And when you're in situations like this, the question is, will you let yourself get crushed in the balls, or will you show some grit, some determination? Will you get up, work together as a team, and fight back? And ZSA, can you give yourself one glimmer of gameplay to be proud of? Or are you going to have your backs broken in record time by this team with a substitute jungler?
Hey, they did get first blood, so.
And here it is. We have spent the last 2 games criticizing
Let's
it, and Wang
go.
he is done letting his pool get pinned. Stop wasting this early pick on this Shen.
They've figured it out. They've gone back to the roots. They opened up Grandma's cookbook, and they found the recipe for the SBL ZSA spaghetti. 3 meatballs, 2 damage. Wang on engage.
Also worth noting,
Sprinkle of cinnamon.
The Dinger ban has been given out. That means they are dropping this Cho'Gath ban. Also going to be, or maybe they dropped Cho'Gath last game.
They
dropping
dropped Cho'Gath
Twitch.
last time for Poppy. This time
And
they
Twitch
dropped
this
the
game.
Twitch. Yeah.
And not going to matter. Twitch not going to be picked.
Yeah.
Good ban. I think so much went wrong in that bot lane, like early on, that we weren't able to talk about. But not shocked that we see both of these players just want to pry out Caitlyn, partially to take it away from each other. And it's going to be respect on Kalista.
Ooh, that's a first for SBL.
That is. Things are going to get very different, and I expect we see a... Never mind. That's not what I was expecting to see here. I was going to guess that we see a Nautilus here, because there's no way... Like, you pick Kalista, you want Beefcake support.
Right.
And like, if you don't pick the Nautilus here, you're not getting the Nautilus.
I mean, maybe we'll see Joey threaten over to something like the Leona that we've seen him pick at least once.
I think the difference on Joey between Nautilus and Leona is so massive. Joey, like,
I don't agree.
I agree.
Joey's looks very good. Joey's Leona looks fine.
And there's the Thresh out of Xmas Tree. We finally get to see him on one of his perennial champions. I'm excited to see the hooks fly down in the bot lane. Do you guys think we're going to see a not ban among the two here? We see the Shen ban come out.
I expect we see a not ban here. I
So
think we see Shen not.
Yeah.
That was going to be my guess. And I expect from here we're going to go ahead and we're going to see Fizz and then either a Vel'Koz or Orianna ban.
There's the Vel'Koz.
Yep. Let's see. How in tune am I with my baddie Zen?
Yeah, maybe my instincts are broken now that I no longer play. I mean, those things, they really go, it's like, you got to recalibrate those things often or they go pretty out of whack. So it's very possible.
There's some discussion here. Yep.
And you are right.
There's the Nautilus.
You nailed it at the last one too.
Waiting with bated breath.
I haven't been so invested in a ban.
I know.
13
it's kind of fun. I would feel really good if I nailed this.
And these guys are really taking the time on the clock here, doing their analysis.
Oh!
It's going to be Malphite.
Malphite was decided as an issue.
And the fear of the cunt has been placed into ZSA this series.
Yeah,
Wang
3 bans on the big boy.
And so we'll see here. What does he go next? He is potentially going to choose to blinds the Dr. Mundo. So, Bongcrank, are we going to see the Garen?
Interesting.
Are we going to see something that's better for his team?
Yep.
This
is classic, though. I'm so surprised that they're waiting to see Red 5 mid. Okay, it's always Red 5
So is that top lane Trundle? Or is that going to be a top? Is that going to be a support Maokai?
Oh, God.
Support Trundle? I got to see the 5th pick here.
Oh,
it's going to be Maokai or Trundle. I think it's going to be Maokai support. Is that better than Trundle? Tim, you're playing. You need to answer.
I'm so confused.
No, not that answer.
Guys, my brain.
The thing that makes the most sense here is Maokai support. But, like...
Fuck it, Garen support.
It's definitely not that. That's Bong Crank on the Garen and Alessandra.
Ooh.
Caleb with another trick up his sleeve. I love it.
If you don't remember, in last season of SBL, Lissandra randomly towards the end became an extremely high prio for like every team. She became good on a patch, and every single one of the mid laners all of a sudden started picking her up. And she's decent right now. Last week, I've been trying to sprinkle some games in because I was expecting to bust her out in the playoffs if I came into, because I thought that she was going to be a really good niche pick for what things were coming up with. Obviously, I don't get to play, but we're still getting to see Lissandra here on Renai. And we are going to see Maokai, Albino Joe Maokai.
Yeah, we got Hook Resets, our resident best support player, chiming in that this is a rough matchup into Thresh. And obviously, Tree, like I mentioned earlier, he's drawn a ton of Thresh bans over the course of this season. Thresh, Caitlyn, an incredibly oppressive lane. This is going to be a tall task for Joe and Respect. We're also Respect, like it's Callista. You got to get up close and personal.
Yeah. The thing I'm not sure of is, has Albino Joe played Maokai?
I'm literally loading his OPGG right now. He has been jamming out some Soraka games lately.
I have seen Joey play a lot of League of Legends and a lot of supports. I legitimately don't know if I've ever seen him play a Maokai game.
He doesn't have a single Maokai game in ranked this season. And I assume that's all Joey plays. I'm gonna load real deep down this, but this is
he has the first Maokai game I can see in his ranked was in 2021. He has 2 losses on Maokai ranked.
So, is this some secret witch brewed potion bullshit sauce, or is this just sheer desperation?
This
from
is
ZSA?
desperation. Joe does not have a Maokai game. I loaded his last 120. There's not a single Maokai game, which that goes back to about the start of the season. I mean, is there a chance somebody just was in the draft was like, Joe, do you think you can flex this? And like he just said yes, trying to be a team player.
I can't help but wonder if they picked Callista's like, yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't like it. What was the?
I mean, Joe is a guy who plays on comfort, man. Like, I played a whole season in lane with him. The very last season. This is not a guy who wants to blind things he's not comfortable. He's not that kind of player.
I wonder if the thing was that, like, because like they obviously are like they wanted to put Callista with something that can engage. The knock gets pulled away, but Leona was open, and I wonder if he's like, I'm not sure about Leona, and they're like, all right, well, what about Maokai? I really wish I could hear what their comms were like on that. I
100% agree.
I am so curious how that came up as the discussion.
You know, we make a lot of the jokes about the mental on this team, obviously, but this is one of the situations where it really gets tested, where your backs are against the wall. You're in a difficult draft, and are you able to come up with a good plan on the fly? And I mean, it's not, drafting is not easy. Like, drafting is really hard. There is a lot of prep that has to go into it. And when things fall apart, you sometimes end up in situations like this where you come out of this draft and they might be thinking to themselves, like, how the fuck did we end up with Maokai support?
Yeah, I can't help but wonder if that is kind of what happened here. Like, it's just so bizarre to see.
So we're focusing a lot on the player to champion combos here. We've hardly even talked about the actual champion picks. So let's just make an assumption that these players play these characters adequately.
Yeah.
Tim, what do you think this comp is going to look like for ZSA?
I think this comp for ZSA is the most functional draft they've had all night by a large margin. Like, I think this is like their best draft. I think this is their best draft they've had so far. I really like the Trundle into Sejuani Maokai. We have the invade coming through, but like,
and they are not seen because Maokai Kalista went to the. No, we're synced, right? 43, 44, 45. They do drop a Warden Tribush, so they will see if the bot lane comes back towards them. This could get so explosive. Where will Ziggs be standing? Will Ziggs see this? Ziggs eye will see this right here.
He does see it.
And the hook is gonna land. Phoenix not ready to react. Flash is late. Has to blow both of his summoners.
You know Salvo's going to be coming back around. He's going to be ready to jump on.
Yeah, and one thing to note, Respect and Albino Joe, they're baiting this bush. We've seen this play, but Tree should know to think about this. He should check this with a hook or something. They did not see Joe and Respect at any point of their invade. There's only one logical place they could be. They should be ready for this. Will they?
Yeah, there's the ping. You literally see the question mark ping go down.
I was just giving him shit for it this last weekend, and he's like, yeah, I'm not going to get caught by that again.
And here it is. He's going to walk forward, and they are going to face check with the bodies. The CC goes down onto Lazy. Respect getting some autos out. A lot of damage onto the Kalista here. And I don't think the Tree and Lazy played that well, and they still come out ahead.
Yeah, you could tell they were prepared for it, but they just did not. I don't know what the best way to exactly approach that was there, but I don't think it was that.
No, but they clearly thought that they just win the straight 2v2 because we saw the pings. We have to think they were ready for it. And regardless of the execution, they are ahead, but they are down on EXP for a moment, but no punish.
Oh, yeah. Man. This is gonna. I'm so curious to see how this game goes.
My only hope is differently than the last two.
Oh,
if for
I
nothing
hope so
else
too.
than an
At the
entertaining
very least,
game
like this is the
and a
game
series.
I'm the most optimistic about coming into by far.
Agreed.
I think there wasn't a team that just like set themselves up for a game plan that was like not success.
Isn't it wild how long we spent criticizing this draft from ZSA, and then we turn around and say it's the most optimistic? Oh, Bonkrank, though, he's maybe going to get changed.
The thing is, the asterisk is assuming everyone is comfortable with the champions and roles they're on. That's the asterisk. And
but we're 3 games into a best of 5, man. We're supposed to be past the asterisks.
Yeah. That's what I thought we'd be. But, like, we'll see. I'm very curious to see how Binojo does on this Maokai support.
Yeah, they're...
Wang looking for the gank,
They're just going to walk
too.
away. Oh, he's dropping it. Albino Joe going in. He has the root onto Lazy Laz. Lazy Laz taking some damage. Respect taking more. Wang is able to trade back onto Lazy Laz, but they are able to secure first blood. And I don't think he's going to be able to chase down Xmas Tree here.
No.
A 1-for-1 trade, but a first blood going over.
Salvo
coming up. He's got the stun. He's going to get away.
Happy feet from Bonkrank here.
3 summoners popped in the top, but back to that bot lane.
Woo!
Lazy Laz plays that out perfectly. Once they realize they're being ganked, he has no flash. He knows, I'm not getting out of this with my life. A worse player runs to the turret, tries to pray for a mistake, loses their life. Lazy stands his ground, autos the Kalista, who is really feeling the pressure to carry in this game, wants to get the kill, ends up being a 1-for-1 instead of a 1-for-none.
Yeah, 1-for-1 in their favor.
Yeah, getting first blood. Oh, Salvo making his way back up top to Bonkrank. Bonkrank going to try to spin to win to get out of it, but he's got no summoners. They're going to chase him down, but ultimately they don't have the health of the resources. Just going to kind of get him off the wave a little bit.
That's still
but
pretty
not too
big,
much
though.
going to come from it.
Bonkrank just reset and TP to lane, and now he's immediately chunked to half. That means they get to slam this wave into the turret, reset the wave state, and let Thunder teleport back, be at a huge advantage in this top lane.
Yeah, he doesn't even actually have to teleport back because of where the waves are at. Like, that was a very, very I don't know if Thunder calls it that, but like,
Bunger, dude. He's teleporting every time.
As a very heads-up play, though, from Salvo there to help break that wave into the tower.
Absolutely. I had thought maybe we might see Wang make his way towards mid lane to kind of say hi quick to Renai circulation, but he just went and
he's
did.
coming bot again.
Oh, he's coming bot
yeah.
now. Oh, walks into the Caitlyn trap, taking a lot of damage on the entry to this fight. Albano Joe's able to get in, knock Christmas Tree back a little bit, but too much damage going back in every direction, and the Callista just not going to be able to chase or get a lot of distance
still pretty far
there.
forward. Respect gets another flash forced out of Respect, and this team is just trying to force right now.
Oh yeah, no, they are so all-in committed. Wang is committed to trying to get his bot lane ahead.
And just some bad micro gameplay there. Stepping too close to the tower, taking the multiple turret shots, letting Tree kind of change the pressure there, and now Lazy and Tree again in kind of an advantage state, just happily eating these ganks like it's an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Yeah,
But
handling
Wang
that pressure from all these ganks was just like an immense amount of grace.
I think this is still the closest that we've seen this matchup at 6 minutes 30 in this series. I just want to point that out.
We shouldn't be surprised about an even game at 6 minutes, but here we are.
I'm just saying, I'm a little happy.
No, I'm happy to see that like things are starting to work out here, and like
On Crank with the fleet footwork. Oh, as I say that. See, I just had to say it, so he got bonked. I knew what I was doing.
Yeah, I mean, things are... I don't know, man. I already feel like I'm seeing the cracks here. There's a lot of pressure in this top lane. There's a lot of pressure in the bot lane.
Yeah.
It hasn't turned into anything yet, but like it should.
The bot lane is geared towards being like the ZSA bot lane is early focus geared. So that's something to be concerned about. Like Callista's about maintaining, like a big part about Callista is maintaining like a dragon control because of the power of like the rend stacks.
You're telling me you don't want Sejuani to be soloing dragon?
I sure don't want to. Yeah, that's why I brought it up. I saw Sejuani moving in.
I know these players. Wang is definitely on voice comm saying, nah, there's no way Salvo would think to pull that right now.
Yep.
Meanwhile,
the only thing they can hope for is that they have a successful counter gank here in the top lane.
Oh, they sniffed out Wang coming.
Yeah, Thunder pops his ghost, but there is not enough resources. Crank gets the execute, and that is going to be big for ZSA here.
Yeah, that's super big. That's blood for Crank. A lot of gold injected right into his wallet. My Wang gets to go ahead and do the Herald here, so they can answer back on the dragon.
Yeah, keep an eye on Tree and Lazy here. This means they know that Wang is so far away.
Yeah.
And actually, we do see maybe a fight break.
Renai and Salvo making their way up.
Yeah, but Tree is going in, getting a lot of CC under his weapon. He so much damage in the process. Not ready for the Callista. And now we see this ult coming through. Lazy has to flash it, but a huge play out of Respect to Joe.
I believe during that, Wang did go down from the engage from Renai circulation and Salvo around Herald,
and Salvo
and
was able to pick up Herald.
Secured it. Fuck you, Director Camera, for not being able to be in two places at once.
Dude, where's our picture-in-picture? But meanwhile, Salvo coming in with a gank, gets the CC, goes through a nice Astral Charge, gonna launch Phoenix Blaze to safety. The Frozen Tomb, not going to be able to lock him down.
Yeah, but they still do get a barrier out of Phoenix. Maybe sets them up for the next play here, and just... Salvo's just warming up as this series goes on, man. Like, he's just getting... marginally better in each of these games. This is where we joke about the roster decision before
going back to the draft, I cannot believe they didn't decide to try and test him off of the Sejuani.
Agreed.
That's the thing that, like, if this does end in a 3-0, you're kicking yourself.
Yeah, no, I am just a firm believer. Oh, we maybe have a big gank coming on this mid lane. No, we don't. They're backing out of it. No, I so agree. That's like one of my core philosophies of pre-made is that if there is a weak player, especially in an off role that like you just don't have a reason to think can play a second champ, you have to try and make them play that second champ.
Everybody just kind of living in their own worlds right now, but
No, the game going down, but we're 10 minutes in. 1K gold lead for ZSA. A significantly better place than they've been in other games, but we'll see if that can turn around as Salvo ganking once again. Bonkrank flashing out the safety.
Ooh. One thing I want to note about this gold lead, look at the player gold. It is just marginal amounts of gold on every single member of ZSA. So even though they are up, and it's actually closed with some wave state here, they are essentially not at any advantage, just because that isn't meaningful enough to put an item advantage on any player.
No, yeah,
that means they have a couple of extra wards.
Yeah, exactly. The only person that's like not down is Respect is down 50 gold. He's 2 minions behind, but a repeat gank from Salvo looks like it might be able to change the toll here.
Yeah, gonna be an easy kill over to Thunder, and they do have a Rift Herald available. Salvo should probably stay shove and drop here.
Yeah,
it looks like that's what he's gonna do. And now we see, again, the cunt is online. Y'all know his name is Thunder Cunt, right? Not Cunt.
No, it's Cunt.
No,
I can see the H on my screen, Swift.
Yeah,
I know how to read.
Oh, well, Wang doesn't know how to read the... no, Wang does know how to read his defenses. Oh,
a nice Ziggs bomb
for the first time in 3 hours.
Yeah, the exploding death bomb from Ziggs ruined some plans.
Ooh, the flash in the engagement rail, Vinyl Joe.
Wow,
the
what a cleanse.
Towards Lazy Lads. Oh, the damage, he's able to secure it.
Yeah, but here's Renai on the flank, 1-for-1, and Thresh had to take that one. Can they get Albino Joe to a good hook? Frozen Tomb, Albino Joe, you have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Renai picks up the kill, and it's a 2-for-1 for the Flexers.
Once again, so many situations that are so close to going so well for ZSA that just don't end up working out for them. I mean, the gold is technically even right now at 12.5 minutes, so still way better than the previous 2 games.
No, that whole entire bot lane exchange was so pretty, so well executed by all 4 members. But then Renai comes around to make sure that, you know, nothing's fair here.
I was just going to say, this is about the point of the game where I think things might start to change for Flex Panther. This is where, when you, especially once Renai hits level 11, where you really see Lissandra get into her shove and roam tempo to make plays. Like, that's what this game is about. It's not about, like, lane domination. It's about making explosive plays. And with a bunch of bodies gathering around this dragon, we might have a chance to see something soon.
Yeah,
Tree back in base
not
on
up
the
for another
Thresh.
25 seconds though. Dragon is up. A fight before that cooldown's available could be a make or break for the team fight.
Thunder about to get his 3rd plate in top lane here.
Yeah. An important thing to notice though is that compared to other games, he's gotten that 3rd plate. There was a Herald charge as part of those 2, and there's been a lot of focus from Salvo into this top lane. Bonkrank,
yeah, at least 4 separate ganks.
Yeah. Let's say Bonkrank holding his own significantly better. These jungles it's been very interesting. Salvo's been ganking top very heavily, tons of top pressure overall. And then Bywag has been super focused on the bot.
You think Salvo's just thinking back of all those years where everyone's like, if you have Madco on your team, just gank his lane over and over. And Salvo's like, well, I guess Thunder's that guy now, so maybe I should just camp up there?
Yeah, I mean, that's...
My Wang's going to find Salvo here. But Phoenix Blaze coming in from behind. He's going to drop his field and chase him down, but he eats the ult. A response ult from Phoenix Blaze is going to get the kill onto Salvo, though. A critical pick with the dragon being up, and we're going to see ZSA immediately turn towards
honestly,
that. A huge mistake out of
Salvo. You knew exactly where Ziggs was. Like, you should have also seen the Trundles level up on you. Trundle wants the dual tanks, just layering as many misplays into one moment as possible. And Salvo's going to erase a few minutes worth of praise with that one, but it's still just the first dragon handed over. The kill on Phoenix may be almost more meaningful.
Even dragons for each team now. Gold even. I have to say, ZSA is probably feeling pretty good, actually, at this point. Like, this has got to be the best they're
Absolutely.
feeling.
No, that's ooh, Bonkrank actually getting some nice damage to stick on the Thunder here. Not quite in alt range, but it's really close. It's not really close.
Solo
It's secured.
Bolo! Mr. Crank!
And now,
I think they're starting to feel themselves a little bit.
Oh, man. Crank is... He's ripping after that one.
And gonna go solo the Rift Herald, or attempt to solo the Rift Herald here. My Wayne gonna be there to support him. Salvo just sitting over the back of the pit a little bit, but doesn't look like Renai is gonna make his way up there. Looks like they're gonna be able to get that one for themselves. And just kills across the board, being able to secure this Rift Herald, just being able to secure Dragon. ZSA really starting to put the gas on for the even game that we had basically leading up to this point.
Yeah, what was a even game trading blows. A massive, just an absolute smashing solo kill from Bonkrank here.
He did
breaking the game open.
Yeah, Renai is roaming towards bot lane. He did dodge that ward. They can look for
the
a
hook
dive
comes
here.
through. That's a
Renai is in there forcing all the defensives out. But Renai holds his ult there. Good decision.
Yeah, Callista ult going to save the day. Save Albino Joe from what would have been a certain death.
Callista ult and flash for the third man roam.
Oh, but no.
Oh, and the Callista gets hooked. Bye-bye, respect.
Yeah, and by Albino Joe, the Caitlyn ult is available. He just got you in his sight, but with a sliver of health, the tree escapes.
Yeah, and I love this. You see the team showing up here ready to go after whoever shows up next. They want to take this first turret of the game. Golly gee, I think they're gonna, boys. Actually, that wave is really far.
The Ziggs just ulted right there to clear the wave, I believe, if I saw that correctly.
No, you're right. I was looking at Twitch chat.
So really buying his team that critical amount of time to not let Flex Panther once again secure first tower.
That was actually really good out of Phoenix.
Yeah, that's very, very good out of Phoenix. And something like just like now that we're like having a bit of downtime, the thing that I find like really amusing here is now that I'm looking at this, as we kind of talked earlier, bot lane, My Wayne ganked a lot more often. Top lane, Salvo ganked a lot more often. The lanes that have been getting ganked more often are the lanes that are losing.
Sometimes
you're not wrong.
A little adversity. Titan jump.
Whoa.
Salvo's going very deep here. The tower is down, but Salvo wants the fight. He is on Phoenix's nuts. So many members flashing forward here. They're going to eliminate the Ziggs. Renai with his seconds. Can they get the chase down onto anyone else here?
They do pick up the turret though. Herald charges.
We could see something interesting in this bot lane here. Tree has got to be careful, but he's got his flanking jungler, and now here comes Renai as well. Wang, you might be too deep in that one. Maokai ult from downtown. Beautiful zoning, but still the tip of the ult into another frozen tomb. The clans uniting to take down the Trundle.
I was a glacial prison into frozen tomb. The names are right, the story itself.
Which Freljord faction is Trundle a part of? Is he a part of the third one?
I don't know. I know Ash is the leader of the third one, but I don't know which one he's part of.
I don't think Trundle fucks with Ash, so Trundle gets betrayed by one of his own. I'm just not sure which.
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought Trundle and Lissandra were mortal enemies.
That seems about probably right for lore.
I thought that like they absolutely despised each other and they were at opposing camps of like their respective
I
reigns.
mean, that would make sense.
There's
like,
three
lore-wise.
opposing camps,
like you have like Ice Witch versus like Frost
Ice Troll.
Yeah.
Dan with the better call, just for the Freljord. No one has to. We don't have to get into the weeds here.
Very, very true.
That's
Poor
true.
Garen repping Demacia all by himself on the rip.
I mean, he's repping pretty good though.
Oh,
That
I'm so
boy's-
sad. I haven't genocided any mages lately.
No, he's
Please,
just
won't
all he
somebody
gets
let
to
me
kill is these
them?
stupid purple things.
Speaking of genocide, Albino Joe is about to be the victim of a crime here. He's got the ult in defensively. Tree going in and getting the flank. A lot of damage taken on the Wang. It's going to force a flash out of Wang here. And this should be a good setup to head towards Dragon for Flex Panther. This could be a really huge fight here.
Yeah,
that was so close from Xmas Tree there. His hook actually landed onto a minion instead of Wang there, but Wang still needed to blow the flash to get out of that. If Tree had landed that hook, I think that's 99 to the troll.
Yeah, so watch here. Can they keep everyone zoned off of this Dragon? We do see Ziggs Bomb coming out pretty early here. I like Tree's positioning. Wants to flay. If anyone comes in, they should probably pull this a little further out.
Yeah, they don't have Callista ult to force an engage. And whoa.
Oh, it's bad as you'll see, but it doesn't matter.
It got a little spicy there. Now the thing was like, yeah, you mentioned the tree thing. I want to point out that was like super slick though. Even though it hit the minion, he like just like slides in and immediately flayed. It's just like no hesitation. It's like,
right.
Yeah. It was like a really little slick little move.
Wang coming up here, back onto ThunderCon, and he's just going to walk away from this one. They're going to trade a little bit onto him, but not going to do very much other than pop the ghost there. But respect catching out Xmas Tree here. He gets a good play into the box onto him, but there's no way he's going to be able to get out of there. Phoenix Blaze coming in and taking that kill.
Yeah, Phoenix, it's a a little 150 shutdown there as well, because Tree had kind of mopped up a few of these kills, unfortunately, in the bot lane, which is extra little bit of help there on the Ziggs. And we got ourselves a game.
Yeah, we find ourselves at almost dead even gold once again.
Yep, Ziggs going to be able to make sure to not anymore, though. Taking his tower demolition progress.
Oh, this is interesting. Respect on a ward. I like this Renai. Wow.
Looking for it. He just too much fog.
Yeah. But I like this. Keep the pressure up. His team's giving him a little bit of sights around the mid lane. We're gonna head into. Oh my God, boys, we're having a mid game.
Yeah, we have a real mid game.
What is?
Game three,
we've been in mid game.
We've
been in mid game for like 3 minutes. It's wild.
I don't know what this is. I'm in uncharted territory. Somebody help.
So you know how like
I thought
normally
mid game
like
was at 13 minutes.
Hey Alexa,
is that not true?
I would say mid games, for any viewers who aren't sure, they're pretty fluid definitions. I would say mid game is the point where players are no longer defaulting running straight to their lane every time they come out of base.
Yeah.
Usually after like a first tower or two has gone down. But the big thing is like when you see a lot more skirmishing instead of like just ganks.
Absolutely. We see a lot of posturing around mid lane here. Renai Circulation hiding his way there, but Wang going to spot him out and going to chase him off a little bit. The blast cone to very little, a little bit of non-existent effect, but still posturing around Phoenix Blaze, keeping a little bit of pressure on him. But not too much gonna happen there.
Yeah, this is, I mean, it has the actual tension of a mid-game as both of these teams are trying to make their plays here. A lot of fear pushing into Fog of War against either of these teams. A lot of way to quickly end your own life if you go in the wrong place. But we do see an engage.
Going in.
Yeah, Tree has to flash out defensively, but he does bait his jungler into his death. And now they do get the catch on the Tree. They should be able to chase him down, slay him down. Wang with the kill, and now this team might posture over towards Baron.
They have Callista, like, they have Trundle. They have plenty of damage to take this Baron here. Lissandra's in the bot lane. It's going to be up to ThunderCunt and Lazy Laz to see if they can stop this Baron, but I don't think they can.
Yeah, there's so much vision there. Lazy doesn't want to risk anything, and Wang secures the Baron. The gold lead up to 3K. Blab will hopefully trade for this bot tier 2. But we are about to enter a pivotal few minutes here for Zed's Sweaty Asol.
One thing I want to call out real quick while we've got a second to breathe is there any possibility that Joey plays on, I know the answer to this question, I want to hear it repeated back to me, that he plays on an alt account where he just plays Maokai? I'm not saying he's been phenomenal by any means, and Phoenix Blaze is going to take a lot of damage there, but he's going to be fine. He's not at Wang level of Maokai, and obviously it's in a different role, but he's 1-1-5. He's had impactful ults. He's been willing to go in and bump people around and bump them back. And you guys have played with Joey. You know, like we talked about before the cast,
he's a throw this out player. Wang is such a big proponent of if you have a Maokai teammate, you can just tell them when to press R and it works. Maybe that was their game plan here, is just to be like, yo, Wang, you can call the ults, and that'll be enough for us. But I agree. I don't think there's been any noticeable drop-off from the Nautilus on this Maokai.
The Maokais looked really good.
They got to be so happy.
And even more importantly than the ults, just his willingness to teleport in, his willingness to get in there and perform the critical knockbacks. He looks so comfy, and you guys know Joey is a comfort player, and usually when he's playing on a champion that he's not comfortable on, he's got way more than one death by 26 minutes.
Oh, Ghost coming out. But meanwhile, it doesn't matter. This time, though, did his team call for it?
Their curse.
That's my fault. It's my fault.
Nice. His team probably said, hey, we got to get Vision there. That's the classic. Albijo is a sacrificial lamb, and whoo.
And man, that's a huge mistake. This team, they do the sacrificial lamb bullshit. Wait, Renai, though, is maybe going to be his own lamb, leading himself to the slaughter. Tries to pump a bunch of damage to Respect. His teammates are coming towards. Buy some good time. He's going to fail the flash over the wall. Renai is going to eventually go down here. Respect is running down in no man's land. He's taken away, but he's going to survive. And now Tree is about to go down here. Lazy Laz is not able to find Respect, and that's a disaster for the Flex Panther.
Yeah, they got Dragon, but Baron is still alive. This will break their base.
A critical flank here from Salvo to maybe create some pressure. Lazy coming
forward.
No,
it's just bleeding more.
Why did you run in there? And Thunder, why aren't you leaving top?
He can't.
I'm gonna say that you should have given up. You should have sacked the tier 2 to go try and hold the tier 3. Actually, I'm gonna push back on that.
I think that's a bold choice. And the bold as in that's probably right.
Yeah, well, this is why your team is last place in the SBL, and my team hasn't lost a single game.
Mine either. Well, that's not true.
That's not true.
Mitch, you've never won a single game.
And you've never won an SBL.
We have 4 minutes on the Dragon. So this is the big thing here. There is super creep pressure through this Dragon spawn. A lot of ways for ZSA to pressure the map here.
It is mid super, though. Is the one like benefit for Flex. That's
mid supers. Yep, easiest wave to clear does not pressure your base as hard as either of the side waves does. Thunder is just finally going to take this turret. His top lane island is. This is about as extreme as you'll ever see it.
Yeah, this has been top lane island, and it's Boncrank's world.
It really is. He's talked about the Garen a lot. He loves the champion. He loves spin to win. I like him better right now on this than I did the Shen either of the past 2 games.
Yeah, but despite it having been Boncrank's world, I mean, these guys are even on gold. At the end of the day, they've both taken 1 tower. But can Boncrank make a play here, or is he going to walk in and just get chunked out? Salvo is pretty far ahead of his team, and that is a massive ult from Albino Joe, a massive ult from Ziggs, and this is looking good for ZSA. 2 down, they are pushing forward. Lazy Laz gets picked, and it's just a Thresh and a Dr. Mundo surviving. They won't have a chance of holding much here.
No, and ZSA, they see the end of the game in sight. Just over 20 seconds until another member of Flex Panther is alive.
And they get the first turret. Thunder is playing with this full health bar here. He has did not choose to take it. I think a smart play from ZSA. Get the 1. Don't risk getting aced under the Nexus. But this game is not over yet.
I think that was fear. I think they totally could have ended there, but I do not blame them for their hesitation there.
I mean, you're down 0-2 in the series. You've made made some questionable team fight decisions. You have a significant advantage for the first time in 3 games. I think I respect the decision.
Oh yeah, I do not fault them for it one bit.
But to note, that means we're now 90 seconds away from a Dragon Soul spawn, not much further from an inhibitor respawn. This absolutely could play into a much more even map state very quickly, and we could be looking at a massive 5v5 for this Dragon Soul. And 5v5, words that we haven't said once this game, because these top laners have been isolated to top lane island. What might change if these top laners join in with their team to fight? Oh, they're going to get some good damage onto Wang here. This is big. The Baron pull as well. Wang down to 30%.
We see Thundercomp making his way down, misses the axe. The Caitlyn ult's going to come through.
I love it. It puts so much pressure on Wang. Has to reset now. And that means this team can threaten Baron. And can they go for the pick? Phoenix plays. He is stalling for time here. Can they get a Caitlyn trap on her? Phoenix flashing out. Albino Joe being Kalista ulted defensively. That is some health bar chunking, but no one loses their life. And now Thunder is being trapped by the Trundle. Thunder has got so much health though. His health bar stays steady for so long. He tries to kill Albino Joe. He fails. And now he's trying to get back to his team. Salvo, I don't know how you ended up there, but it was wrong of you. A 1-0 for ZSA. And now they are the ones in control of the Baron pit in a disaster class from Flex Panther.
Yeah. That was a fight.
That was a fight. It looked so good for Flex Panther until it didn't. Everything just went absolutely sideways there, and a masterful escape class there. Phoenix plays burning the Zonias. Albino Joe building all this room for him to get out, and then when everyone is ready to pile onto Albino Joe, boom. Kalista pulls him to safety, and everyone's out.
Force rush this dragon before Flex Panther can get there, which means the soul will not go over for at least another 6 minutes. And now, with just one Nexus turret remaining and Baron on their bodies, this might be an easy closeout here for ZSA.
God, the amount of damage they have on these neutral objectives that they managed to have all game. I mean, obviously the Kallista's a massive part of that, but it's just... I think it's been able to play a lot in their favor when they've been able to get to these objectives quickly and secure them quickly, and just paying the pick somehow paying dividends.
I mean, they have a team that has a lot of damage but still has an actual front line, and it's just been, yeah, like you said, it is working for them, and they're making it work, and it's looking good. Showing that they still have some fight in them yet.
And so I like this. Take a smart play. Go get an open tier 2. Get the pressure. Get the golds. Then afterwards, you can work on 1-4 here. Garen pressuring the open inhibitor while you try to siege away at another tier 3. Take the jungle camps that are there. Can they get this pick on the Blancrank, though? They are popping a lot here, and his health bar is barely
Oh my god.
You cannot
oh my
that.
god.
There was so much committed. So much committed for a flash off of Garen.
Wouldn't worry about anything else, but that salvo ult is just...
Oh my god. Yeah, it's...
Blancrank
is just generating so much pressure here. That's multiple times we see people sending multiple members over to try and hold this at him, and down goes this tower.
And this might be the last stand, and Wang can sense victory in the water. Another massive Maokai ult shreds the team. Salvo has no ult to save himself. Tree has no health to save himself. 2 of the inhibitors have fallen. Only 1 Nexus turret remains. Albino Joe wants to put his foot on their throats. They get their 3rd kill. Their health bars are low, but this is not going to matter. Renai and Lazy Laz have no health remaining. The 2nd turret is down. Desperation. There is nothing they can do. And ZSA are going to keep their season and their pride alive and force a game 4.
One thing I want to touch on real quick before we cut to break is specifically what we called out last game with ThunderCon just having the awareness to really have the presence of mind around the map, force plays in certain areas. We saw exactly that mentality come out of Blancrank there, knowing to push mid, drawing so much pressure back to him, and ultimately buying his team the gap that they needed to close out that game.
Right now that we got a late night on our hands, I think we're going to cut this straight to break so we can get back in game ASAP. So guys, stay tuned. You know you don't want to miss it. We'll be back in 5. Welcome back. We're Thrifty once again. Changes the tempo on me. We are in with Zed's sweaty A-Soul, holding the A-Soul, showing signs of life for the first time in this semifinal, giving us a series. And finally, we have some interesting League of Legends on our hand, boys.
Fine, I'll just be over here, sharpening my feathers.
Same first three bands coming out of both teams. Unsurprising that they're not changing it up too much. I'm really interested to see how the context of this shifts with this being blue side for Flex Panther.
Yeah, and I
which, by the way,
expect the Garen ban.
The stream is wrong here.
And sorry, I'm looking at the stream. I get baited. There will be Garen left open. Get your bets in, folks.
Exact same first 6 bands across the board. We see the Caitlyn Prio coming through for Flex Panther.
You guys think this Caitlyn Prio is too high?
I do. I don't think either of them have shown us a substantial enough performance on it to warrant it being as frequently high as it has. I love the Maokai Prio, though. I love this first pick, Maokai. Yes. I love this pick.
And yeah, great first 2 picks there for ZSA. I think that is the right 2 picks. Bro, isn't that so nice? Grandma's like, hey, honey, I died, but in my will, I left you a Maokai that you could pick. You're like, thanks, Grandma. I'm going to win this series for you.
We do see the early priority on the Vel'Koz coming across for Runai Circulation, another champion that he has played a ton of over the course of this league, and that he's played to quite a bit of success.
Oh, man, that is an understatement of the year. One of the most iconic player to champion picks in the history of the SBL. I love this. Blab is capable of being the man that carries this game. He doesn't need to do any of this counter pick bullshit, especially now that you're on blue side. Just take your pick. You know they want to drop bans on you and say like, hey, like I can just carry this from the back line.
A very comfortable pick for Squect. It's something, it's a very safe pick.
Yeah, respect.
Certainly true. The Trundle coming across to presumably deny Wang the ability to potentially play it. Salvo not having any games on Trundle that I was able to see, to my knowledge. Is that a potential? Is that a potential flex as well? That is fair.
Yeah, really interesting. Respect has only played Ezreal once all regular season. I feel like I've seen more presence on that champ.
Fear is the first of many foes.
And this is the one. I'm shocked they didn't pick Garen first rotation.
Nope.
Yeah, it's been 3 years of it. The man he looks like a player on Garen, and he looks like a participant on every other champion. And now we'll see here, what will the pressure do? It's going to be Nautilus coming through, so it is Maokai in the jungle. I think this is good for this team, because they probably need some damage in the top lane, but what? Oh my god, dude, this fucking makes it to blue 4. It is interesting to know that it's going to be a blind Trundle in the top lane. Ooh, I think he's going to pick that. I think I like that. Bro, you know Zyra... Never mind. I think that's going to be really good in lane. I think you can punish Albino Joe's positioning. Does anyone know if Zyra's on character, not AI? So Dr. Mundo is going to be the last pick of the draft here. Thunder busting that out again, saying like, hey, if you don't get your one trick Garen, I can carry.
That's bonk crank on the
Dude,
on the Mundo.
Don't blame me. I'm washed.
That is bonk. That is bonk crank on the Mundo. The last time that we saw him play the Mundo was against Tizzy and the Smash Bros, where they banned 4 champions against him, and he kind of stomped the game with the Mundo. Ever? Yeah, relevantly ever.
Yeah, so that was...
Okay, just an update coming through in Twitch chat. My Wang saying, resetting again, we have to close out. Cannot edit runes. So, League client consistently trying to fuck us over.
Yeah, well, that gives us a chance to talk about the stream for a bit, and I haven't talked about myself enough tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, you may have seen that we now have a sub goal of 1 million subscribers, and I am happy to announce that if we hit that sub goal, we will actually be fixing the League client. So get those Twitch primes rolling. We're gonna take a lot of effort to chip away at 1 million subs, but I think if miracles are real, we can get there.
Hey, we have 19 already. You know, we're getting there. I mean, hey, if we do
Sharpening my feathers.
if we do 1 a week, that's only 100 years.
Seems you left your
Also, I do
brave
real quick. So I
pants
did pull up some match stats. See that bonk rank win on Mundo against Tizzy in the Smash Bros. He did have a solid, an admirable game there, but 4-2-11 on the Maokai. Respect had 14 kills on the Kaisa, so maybe more of a participant than a bus driver on that one than we remember.
That's fair.
But still, I mean, adequate. I mean, if you played against Dario Chapman and you didn't run it down and like run it undergrounds, like then it worked. So a lot of pressure on him though. I mean, it's been bad 2 of the 3 games, and then he's been gearing the other one.
Yeah, it really seems like, and the Shen not eating any bans either, it really seems like the team's kind of collectively decided that in this particular matchup against Flex Panther, that the Shen being an R bot just isn't doing enough for the team.
No, if I were the coach for ZSA, we would have had a conversation 6.5 weeks ago. I'd be like, hey Max, you're never playing Shen again.
Fear is the first of many foes.
That is super reasonable.
But what if this time? And that is, I mean, that is one of the hardest parts of the SBL every season, is that it takes so long to figure out. Tim, you're muted on stream.
Fuck.
That's
Damn it.
awkward. You've had so much to say.
That is.
Oh my god, that is
fucking-
so
oh,
unfortunate.
That is so unfortunate. I felt really good about that analogy too.
No, it was the stupid. You're stupid, and you were saying stupid things, and I was about to tell you why you were stupid, and no one.
You don't need to tell anyone I'm stupid. I said why I'm stupid.
Until 15 minutes ago, when that last game ended, I had another stream up where everyone could have gone back and watched the VOD, but I said, okay, it didn't crash for 3 games, so I just cut that stream. So there's really no evidence of it.
No, that's fine. You know, I did it to myself. It was karmic justice for the amount of times I got you at the beginning of the season.
That's fair. Yeah. I don't believe in karma, that I don't believe in her as a champion, but I guess I'm open to changing.
You know what? It's karmic justice for the way that you count down us into going live. That's what you get.
Yeah, that's
bro. At this point, if we get to game 5, I'm expecting polyrhythms on the countdown.
Dude, hell yeah. Oh man, I don't know why. I've just been a little like manic on the countdowns today. Normally I'm pretty consistent, but today it's been a little all over the place, and then it's just kind of fun.
It happens.
Honestly, I'm just gonna take it nice and slow this time.
And you set me up for one thing, and then it changes.
Gotta keep you on your toes. It's make sure you're ready for any of these spontaneous plays. But bringing it back to the game here, how do you guys feel about these 2 teams now? I think like this was like another actually like really reasonable draft from both sides.
I think it's a pretty good draft for both sides as well. I think there's a lot of just pressure on the execution here. Yep. If you ask me to pick, I think I feel slightly better about the team that Flex Panther put together on the blue side. I think the ease of execution is there. To me, the Renai on the Vel'Koz is the big thing. If he's on Vel'Koz last game, they might have won that game outright.
You think so?
And I just think they're going to have a hard time getting back to Vel'Koz. Like, they have to commit from so far away. Well, that's fine. Like, Blab's already playing from downtown.
I really, really like Joey on another his most renowned champion, and Wang on Maokai. Like, that duo between the 2 of them. I love it.
We do see enemy 1, enemy 3, enemy 4. Maybe it's support Dr. Mundo.
You know what?
What if
You're
it's
right.
Jungle Nautilus?
Jungle
Good old
Ezreal.
days. That's
Jungle
the old days,
Ezreal,
man.
80,
Has
80
been
carry
meta.
Ziggs,
that has been meta.
Maokai mid.
Theoretically, Faker's probably played it.
I do believe I was correct. Yes, I was. That will be Albino Joe on the Nautilus, My Wang on the Maokai, and I'm excited to see where we go with this game. I think the important thing is that all of us are feeling significantly more confident about this than either Game 1 or Game 2 drafts.
Yeah, no, I mean that's
For ZSA specifically.
yeah. I mean that's definitely the implication, right?
We do see a level 1 here. Albino Joe, he's going to try to reaction check Lazy. Lazy does stutter step a bit, gets the ward down. Looks like he's going to be fine.
Yep.
Everyone walks out.
a nice
They
root.
do get the ward.
Yeah, they get the ward. And they're going back to it.
Ooh.
These
And look
cheeky bastards.
Respect out of the side of Flex Panther here. They are so far back. This is the kind of thing, Salvo, your lack of jungle experience is going to show here. You won't know how to navigate the situation. It's going to be fine because ZSA is going to walk out here, but there's like...
Yeah,
Is
Zyra
Salvo-
Plant's going to check it. They'll be fine.
And ultimately, both these junglers go into their bot side camp, getting a leash from their bot lanes, and we got a bot to top clear out coming. You know what I'm happy about, guys?
What's that?
We're 4 games in. Every player has started every game with items, and in the SBL this season, that is something to be celebrated.
You know what? You're right.
That has been a thing. Really showing our old age there.
Well, Bonkrank missing the first 2 CS.
Yeah, you know.
Hurts a little bit.
Yeah. We've already established
Agree.
CS don't matter in the top lane.
I mean, the singular game that he performed well on, he was even on CS.
That's
so
true.
to all you CS doubters out there.
Oh yeah. Not me, that's for sure. Ooh. Albino Joe looking for a frisky hook.
Level 2 for the ZSA bot lane. Not too surprising.
God, that root animation from that Zyra skin is just fucking obnoxious.
Yeah, and this bot lane, I'm really excited to see how this bot lane plays out. Zyra lanes are so different than what we've been playing so far, where you just consistently whittle away at your opponents. And I'm really curious to see if Joey's able to handle this, because I do think Tree plays this at a super high level. And Zyra can't. I mean, this is one of those like all-time quintessential lanes. Like the pressure you from downtown doesn't have to risk a thing to do it.
Yeah, and we've seen the lanes where Lazy and Tree have been able to pressure from downtown has gone really well. Like the Jin Dinger and the Caitlyn Dinger lanes were very oppressive.
Alternatively, if this game doesn't go great for those two, are we ready to start the is Tree a Dinger one trick storylines?
Ooh. Nah.
Oh, boosted by the Dinger.
Nah.
Nah.
Listen, man, I've been banned from Batty Breakdown, so I'm ready to push this shit on the
Yeah,
cast.
there you go. He's fucking spread. Ooh.
Nice damage.
Yeah,
Nice.
nice
Good
little-
damage
yeah.
from Phoenix there, yeah.
Yeah, we can see here. Wave crash. Oh.
Oh.
I thought that was hitting.
It was close, man. But yeah, they're making him feel the heat here.
And this is good because they knew they had vision on the jungler's top side. They know they have some pressure here.
And they're just pushing right again.
And Caitlyn Zyra is like the ultimate like push if you have the chance lane. And now Renai gonna try to hold on to his flash here, daring Wang to push into him. Wang gonna be chunked out to about 40%. Gonna be lower after this hits. That's actually pretty big. Wang wastes a lot of time in the last. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but
Salvo going to match a little bit, heading on his way towards Wang, but ultimately not too much going to happen there. He's just going to turn away from him. Scuttle going to Wang is very nice. You know, not allowing him to just quickly and without good visibility get to the bottom. Maokai making his way to the bottom river. He's going to be spotted out on this ward. The hook does land onto Lazy Labs. Respect getting some damage. My Wang is going to be able to get in. Respect grabs My Wang first blood on the bottom lane.
A really nice flash hook from Joey. Lazy had the net animation going, but it just was not fast enough. And big plays from the whitest of Joes.
Yeah, smart of Lazy, hold the summoners there again. Lesser 80 carry blows the flash there, hoping they have a chance of getting out, or maybe worse, blows both. He was dead.
Yo, yeah. The second the flash hook landed, toast.
I'd say the biggest thing there is that the kill did go on to Wang, so we've seen Wang snowball really well when he gets those advantages, but that at least means Lazy and Tree can still pretty honestly play out this 2v2.
They do both get an assist for what it's worth. Just a nice collective gold share across the board for the lane. But yeah, agreed. If that had gone on to Respect, maybe a little bit better.
Yeah, it does. Fortunately for Respect, puts him in a pretty good power spike. You know, when you've got the Sheen on the Ezreal, it's probably one of your more threatening points in the game because you can trade a little more aggressively. If Joe, lands a hook, you're gonna pump some good damage into somebody.
Ooh, I like this move from ZSA, immediately going to the dragon, realizing they have the prio after getting that kill, having the ward in the bottom bush on bot river, and they're going to be able to get this nice and early, nice and uncontested, without really sacrificing anything else across the map. Well done on their part.
Yeah, the only thing they're really sacrificing here is some tempo for My Wang, but with the kill, he's more than happy to sacrifice a little bit of tempo here for that first early drag.
Again, they're just not allowing them to establish pressure basically anywhere. You know, Renai's circulation is all we do see the ult coming out from the Vel'Koz, right as I say that he dinks 7. He's able to get Phoenix down to single-digit health, but ultimately not much more going to come of that. Did make him blow the barrier, and Phoenix is going to need to back off of that mid lane turret, but he does throw the ult backwards, gets some amount of damage, and ult for ult, summoner for nothing, but not too much for Flex Panther.
Yeah, still makes Phoenix feel the pressure a bit. Ultimately is going to be worth here if he does anything with that. Man, this feels tense right now.
This is so tense.
Yeah, there is a lot of pressure on both of these teams. ZSA is back against the wall. Flex Panther meeting their first bit of adversity with the backup jungler.
And I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but I'm gonna. I believe, Tim, you might know if I don't, that maybe Salvo was caught here. No. Okay, sorry. Anyways, I think there's only been one reverse sweep in the history of the SBL.
There's been 2.
Bonkrank and My Wang going to catch out Thundercunt here. He's going to get the chomp onto Bonkrank, some good damage. Salvo here to back them up. Renai circulation making his way up. Wang gets the good ult to buy himself some time. Ultimately not going to be enough. Stung is going to land onto Bonkrank. He's not going to be able to get away. My Wang tries to re-engage. He might be able to get the damage on the Thundercunt, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And a 2v1 situation turns into a 2 for nothing in favor of Flex Panther.
Yeah, a duel of the mages, just off-directed camera there. I thought Phoenix Blaze might be able to keep Blab out of that fight, but ultimately Renai was able to commit to pushing forward into backing his teammates up, and the thinnest of margins going to go the way of the Panther. Kills going on to Salvo and Renai here.
Brutal turn of events for ZSA.
Absolutely crushing. And to go back to your little bit there, yeah. So a little bit of fun history on that. There's only been 2 reverse sweeps in the history of the
I know. You were on one of them, the losing team. I drafted you.
Wait, so there's been 3 then. There's been 3 then. Because the other 2 I was playing on, and the other two was
No,
on the
that's what
same
I'm saying.
team.
Was I drafted a team of yours that got reverse swept.
No, we reverse swept the team that I was thinking of. Reverse swept twice, and then
Wasn't the team with you and Blab? Didn't you get reversed? I mean, we don't got time.
No, we don't got time.
We have a duel of the tanks, and Thunder has been losing this for a game and a half straight. He has nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Bong break the game of his life here.
I told you, it's Mundo.
He's 1-1. He's not having the game of his life yet.
Oh, but he's having the night of his life right now. This is the person you were talking about as a potential MVP. This is a man who went for either 0 or a quarter, and he has 2 solo kills on him.
This is
in the last 40 minutes.
This is fucking League of Legends, baby. It doesn't fucking matter if you're better. If you're just close enough, you can make the plays. And when the pressure gets to players, when the picks don't work out, when the teams are synergizing, you have so many tools at your disposal to just put down better players. And Bunkrink's doing it, man. This stupid fucking stoner is doing it.
Salvo with good prio on the Rift Herald, able to get some good damage onto this. Wang is going to make his way there, but ultimately just going to stop at the camp. I think this Rift Herald is going to pretty easily go over to Flex Panther. Happy to get a neutral objective for themselves.
Yeah, big for them to get that. I feel like they haven't had a Rift in a while. That lets them, you know, find their pressure in a lane. No, wait a second.
He didn't pick it up. Nope.
No.
Wait, actually?
He didn't
He hasn't picked it up yet. I'm watching. He's going to walk past it.
Oh,
he sees it.
Oh,
he got it.
The clutchest play of Salvo's last 3 years. Clip it. He's back. I didn't know it stayed so long.
Dude, I don't think, I think if he didn't dash there, he didn't make it.
I'm pretty sure you're right. Oh, yeah. Dude, when I first picked up the jungle, I was, we gotta fight bringing out a dragon here, disregard me. And we have a lot of bodies in this pick, and they're gonna try to put this damage to Sejuani. Maokai gets the dragon, Salvo loses his life in the process. Great sequence for the sweaters.
Really, really good for them. Really good heads up play by Albino Joe to recognize that My Wang was going to be able to secure the dragon without his assistance at that point, and nail the hook onto Salvo and get themselves a kill in addition to that neutral objective.
And a really brain empty play from Salvo. Just, there was nothing you could do on the walk-in there. And we're just seeing some of the inexperience start coming through, even on this Sejuani. And now we do see a dive setting up Wang's in a great spot here. And this is the danger of Zyra. Tree, you have nowhere to run. Although he does get a nice root. Albino has to flash out. But it is not going to be enough. Kill number 2 for My Wang. But Renai, I've seen him in this spot. Can he buy some time? He's going to get engaged on instead. No time is bought. He doesn't need to buy time. He turns. He gets the kill. He flashes out. Salvo is here.
Oh, my.
Renai circulation.
Sorry, I had to take a step away from the mic.
Collectively on the floor. Our cocks are collectively hard. Renai circulation on the Valkaz. This is why we hype it the way we do. One of the most iconic player and champion picks in SBL history, with his team just not having any breaks go their way. He finds the plays. He is playing with his full health bar, using his summoners, pushing the squishy mage to its limit.
I had to literally take a break from the mic for a moment and just put my head on the desk for a second.
Absolutely ridiculous.
That was physically painful.
I could not believe they weren't able to pop him there. But he knew it, and he just walked in and he blasted 2 people. He blasted 1, flashed out. The team arrives as backup, and he picks up 2 more on the way out.
Baddies, I need Blabby's baddies, please clip that one. We deserve to be blowing him up with a clip of that. He has got to be feeling himself. And that's when Blab gets ahead early on the Valkaz.
Oh, it looks so good when he's ahead early.
it makes you think that this must ban. And that, I mean, that could have been a series-winning play. Obviously, there's so much game left here. But in a close game, to get those 3 kills onto that important of a player, that's the kind of thing that can get the snowball rolling.
Yeah, that was... Him or Lazy getting 3 kills there was like the actual best possible thing that could have happened for this team. And the fact that they all went onto one person means like all of a sudden now that person's really big. We see the 400 gold bounty on this Vel'Koz.
You guys were talking about how the game felt tense about 5 minutes ago. The game feels really fucking tense right about now.
Oh, I mean, the game's going to feel tense all the way until something really makes or breaks a difference here as Thundercunt and Bonkrank duking it out. Junglers looking to posture for backup.
Junglers and Joes all showing up in this top lane. No one knows about the others right now. Will we get anything? Will Salvo take this blast cone? This Joey will maybe see this. Yeah,
Salvo
Joey
takes the blast cone.
We see him coming in on the flank. Hook's not gonna hit. The zoning ultimate is actually gonna hit Salvo on the top, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Everyone walks away.
Yeah, I think a lot was predicated on that hook landing.
These bodies are gonna stick around here. Salvo not gonna pull any triggers. I don't blame him for not wanting to take the risks there. A little bit of a strange position to be in. But we are back to farming.
These 2 meaty boys in the top lane.
Oh my god.
Bonkrank looks like he did not expect that damage. He's going to die to Thundercunt after being able to get the solo kills so many times in the recent past with them. But the hook is going to land on the Xmas tree from Albino Joe. He's going in, but so much damage going on to my way. Salvo going to be able to disrupt. Squack gets a kill on the back end. Salvo flashing in. He's got Albino Joe in his sights. He's able to land the ult, gets onto him, has the stun going on to Squack, and a 3 for 1 in that exchange.
Yeah, they popped tree, but the thing was he got the Stranglethorns off, and it was a 4-man knockup.
One of the biggest Zyra ults you will see since Prime Thrifty Senpai played the champ. Again, another fight in a row where you thought the mage was going to be popped, but Tree does eventually lose his life there, but he gets off what he needs. And that saves, not just save, it dominates the fight for his team. And now, look at all this tower pressure. They have the dragon available. This could have been a game-opening play for ZSA.
Yeah, it's so big. And the thing to point out is, like, the Trundle now has the Bork completed with that lethal tempo. He can duke out fights now with this Mundo, as we saw. And the thing is, the point that I was like, that fight was out 11. Oh no, Bonkrank, you don't win these fights anymore. That Bork, it does so much work for him.
Yeah, man. Bonkrank, you know, I've heard there's a metaphor they use, like, coaches use in children's sports where they tell them, like, you got to be a goldfish. Like, what they mean is you got to forget when something bad happens. Like, you're going to screw up, just forget it and keep playing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Bonkrank sometimes takes his analogy a little too literally and flushes himself down the toilet. Has to pull his zigs up here, but
but good play. They were able to secure the tower there, and good God. The nice thing about this Trundle having to go Bork first, he's very squishy, as you saw how much damage those Ziggs bombs did to him.
Yeah, I was
Lazy
really
Labs and
worried.
Tree walking up here.
With the bot lane coming, I thought that those two were gonna push into a 3v2 and maybe get themselves in danger. But
yeah.
I got
thing to note here is that Vel'Koz in the bot lane, no TP available.
Mundo has TP.
No. Vel'Koz doesn't have TP. So if we have a fight here, it's a 5v4 in favor of ZSA.
Yeah, I mean,
without
it's only
their strongest
minutes.
player.
It's Rift Herald. Like, you just seed Rift Herald here if you can get the free pressure on a tier 2,
yeah,
right?
but they're posturing like they want to try and hold this. It's a very dangerous position here. I'm surprised we have not seen the Maokai ult pulled. Ziggs bomb goes bot to stop the push.
That's going to slow things
And now
down
the
there.
TP. Oh, that was a miscommunication.
And this is one of the things that Bonkrank has struggled with, you know, all season, all career, honestly. His teleports are honestly not very good. I really don't think they needed to.
They could commit one or the other. And I think and that was just a straight up miscommunication from the team. They're like talking like we gotta send someone bot, we gotta deal with bot, we gotta deal with bot. Zig throws the bomb, doesn't say anything, and then Mundo teleports to catch like.
And the thing that makes me think is that there wasn't really communication. It was just kind of a panic, like, oh shoot, somebody has to make a play, make up moments. But ultimately, it ends with Flex Panther getting this third and final tier 1. They are up
just under 3K gold. Ult coming out from My Wang, gonna catch Salvo. He's gonna block it for Xmas Tree, but ultimately there's no follow-up. They're not able to get through these Zyra plants. There's just too much in the way for them to be able to follow after that. A decent attempt out of Wang, but ultimately going to get them a whole lot of nothing here. Meanwhile, Flex Panther has control of pretty much everywhere else on the map.
Yeah, and I think Flex Panther, one thing Renai specifically loves being in this situation. He has been free farming for quite a few minutes now, just accelerating his own power. Wants to make sure that, like, once he starts fighting, that he is truly at the peak of his powers. He's recalling here. Does he have the components for a second item?
He should have enough money to make Shadow Flame. Yep.
There it is. 2 items on Blab.
A terrifying spike in power if you are Zed Sweaty Asol. You definitely do not want to see that 4-0 in 0 Vel'Koz becoming any scarier. And we're going to be having some sketch engagements, some potentially explosive team fights here in the next couple minutes.
Something I want to point out on, because I just kind of noticed this when I was looking at the scoreboard, and it really stuck out on me. Salvo, 3-1-4 this game. 7 out of 9 kills he's been a part of.
Yeah, inexperience or not, he's doing what he needs to do.
The one death, quite the blunder. We'll definitely say that. Did not look good. But, like, dude's just...
Nah, man, we thought after the last game...
He's been in the right place at the right time. A lot.
Yep, that's been key. Able to go in and make the easy plays with his team, all that they've asked him to do. And, you know, after the third game, in the first few minutes of game 4, it looked like, okay, Wang's on tanks, like he's finally getting the outplays in the jungle matchup. But Salvo having the more impactful game for the third time in 4 could be the difference in this series where this game is still so close. We have 30 seconds on this dragon here. It would be a third for ZSA. This is going to be a mess. By the way, Respect is still in the top lane. He's going to be...
Not only is he still in the top lane, he is sitting on 1,250 gold here. That is a BF sword's worth of gold. That is his second item not going to be complete when it comes to this fight versus Lazy's 2 completed items.
All 10 bodies here. And
yeah, the posture for mid.
With the timing, that was smart. That go get that play. Dragon is not up, and Salvo is going really far ahead. His team is a little behind him, but here we go, getting in, pumping some damage into Ball Crank. The Vel'Koz get some damage out. It is 2 members down, but their health bars are low. I don't think it's gonna matter. They're not low enough. It is a 1-for-3 in favor of Flex Panther, making a 1-4-4. Vel'Koz a part of all 4 of them. 6-0 and 2 is Renai's circulation, and this team is gonna go mop up the Dragon.
Such good positioning from Flex Panther coming out of the top of the river there. Able to get the flash out of My Wang early. Able to set themselves up to control the rest of the fight. And able to get the damage dealers dead or irrelevant in the fight so early.
I mean, what happened, it was a good call. They had a good call. They said, hey, we don't have river position. We have prio mid. Take the tower. But they were not prepared for Salvo to pull the trigger so fast.
Well,
Salvo came out of brush and he immediately flash dash throws the ult.
And that was so brilliant because we've seen Salvo hesitate at so many points in this game, in this series, where he just doesn't look as fast as he could be if he was, you know, in a more familiar role. And for him to aggressively pull the trigger, it completely caught ZSA off guard there.
Yeah.
And
his team was ready for it too. His team followed up right afterwards, and I mean, you saw what happened. It just destruction.
Now things are starting to look perilous here for ZSA. 5,000 is the gold deficit. 2-2 is the Dragons. Obviously, this game is a long way from over.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of ways that this game could still come back.
Blab making his way up to Wang. Salvo going to take the blast cone, and once again going in aggressively, is able to get the stun on My Way's got the root, but Renai Circulation's there with the damage. Resquect coming in from the back end, though, and all coming in from My Way, gonna lock him down. Resquect able to get the shutdown there. A good hook landing onto Salvo, and is going to be able to secure the kill onto My Wang, but that another kill going over to Resquect.
Oh,
2 for 1 in favor of ZSA, and one of those being onto Blab.
Not only was it 2 for 1, that was 1,600 gold in shutdowns. 1,000 gold for Renai, 600 gold for Salvo. And they both went under Resquect.
That's so huge. Resquect is rolling here. That's going to go get him a massive purchase. He goes back, spends 2,500 gold. Smart play from Thunder, though. He gets, oh my god, so much pressure on this tier 3. And you're not chasing down a Trundle. Will be able to keep threatening this tier 3.
The thing that's mind-boggling is he has still gone gold on Lazy, actually, after that.
Wow.
The 40 CS difference from the lane.
Yeah, the towers, I think he got plates.
Yeah.
Yep.
All coming together there in a big way for the Caitlyn. Caitlyn on 2 items, going to start feeling a little more power here.
Yeah, Muramana made, Manamune made, but not upgraded to Muramana yet. Still need to get some tier stacks onto this Ezreal.
Yeah, I do like Ezreal does have a Last Whisper now, so we'll be able to a little more effectively budge through that Sejuani health bar.
Yeah, a little awkward that he's sitting on 2 separate components. He's got the Tiamat for the Ravenous Hydra, and he's got the Last Whisper for the whichever full pen item, Lord Doms or Mortal Reminder. But I'm curious to see which one he's going to go ahead and complete first.
Is a 2,100 gold on Trundle, but going to cancel the back.
Besides, he's going to hang out some more.
There's... Hate to beat the dead horse here, but just so much tension in this game right now.
Oh man, and now we're duking it out once again. Trundle ult comes out, Mundo ult still available, but I'll top him right off.
I think that works because Trundle wants to back here. 2,400. Go spend, start getting some mistakes.
Yeah,
Maybe
they
get your
do have
boots too.
TP advantage for Flex Panther here.
Yeah, but man, Ziggs, Ezreal, Maokai, like those are some hard champs to force a Baron against.
It's very tough. They need to. It's much more of the we force a fight, right?
I think they want to wait out this dragon. They want to take a more honest fight.
Yeah,
third minute left on
that would be third Chemtrack Dragon of the game.
And watch the positioning on Thunder. He's running straight down towards the bot lane. I think that is the smart play here. You have teleport to answer a Baron, but you can get your team the prio on that half of the map ahead of this dragon. Move some wards. If you see Salvo's walking forward, gonna try to establish some vision in the enemy jungle, take away those blast cones, make this a dragon that your team has the advantage.
We see Pain's going down onto the Baron though. ZSA. They're gonna take this blast cone over the wall.
There's a pink there though, so this is seen. They're not very far away. They gotta be very careful here. Blab will shred them in the pit.
That's their pink. That's they have safety.
Or sorry, yes, but they are very aware. They
immediately
get the TP
sussed out though. TP coming out. The whole team moving over.
Flex Panther engaging his 5 to the bottom of the Baron pit.
Wise call though. Forces out. They force out the TP. They broke parity on that. They'll have TP for advantage soon.
It still did end up with them getting that prio on the boss side of the map here. They are rushing towards the dragon. A good Ezreal ult is gonna do some damage here. Watch the ramps. Can they control the ramps? Can they make them rush into Blab's easy to execute damage? I love this Blab kind of going off to the side here, wants to get damage from the angle. And I think ZSA is just conceding this. They're not able to confidently push in there.
Yeah, I don't think there was a good, based on where they were positioned in the prio that Flex Panther had, just able to run down river while they had to stick in red side jungle. There just wasn't a good opportunity for them to really get in without risking too much. And I don't think you're in a position where you're willing to risk too much. My Wang getting a little bit popped, but able to get the ult back out, lock down Salvo, and get the kill onto Xmas Tree. Respect good damage onto Salvo, but is he going to be able to chase him down? And the answer is no. Albino Joe has the ult onto Salvo, and he's going to be able to turn back onto him. Bonk Crank in the fight of his life against Thundercunt and Lazy Lass as he's trying to run away. He's going to drop here. Albino Joe goes up to face Shank Thundercunt is chasing them down, but is going to back off. And once again, a 2-for-1 trade in favor of ZSA unless they extend this fight a little bit more.
Yeah, Salvo gets a little too big for his britches there, wants to be the hero, wants to chase down, but at the state this game is in, you gotta just play close to Renai and Lazy. Be the CC bot to keep people off of your champs.
Yeah, it was so unfortunate that the disintegration rate from Vel'Koz was just not able to find that much by the time it first comes out. It seems like it was going to be able to do so much.
Yeah, just some big flashes to reposition at the early stages of that fight by ZSA. Gets them out of a lot of the Vel'Koz damage output. And ZSA, they have chipped away at this lead. They're still down, but 30 minutes in, under 3,000 deficit. You're not feeling too bad about that. Your best player, Respect, he's at his 3 items here. He's rolling. Ziggs is getting chonky. This is going to come down to a late fight. We got 3 minutes here till the next dragon, a potential 4th Chem Tech.
Interesting. Interesting. We're seeing more odd build pivots here. Vel'Koz goes back and picks up a Blighting Jewel. As opposed to, so he's sitting with a needlessly large rod in inventory. Looking like he wants to pivot from the going to the Death Cap to the Void Staff.
Yeah, I don't blame him. A lot of these fights he's been, Wang and Joe and Bongcrank have been so far ahead, and he needs to be able to get a little more damage to stick on these tanks. Possibly a smart pivot there.
Yeah, big thing to point out though is the Lord Doms coming through now on Caitlyn.
That's big.
Yeah, Lazy Lies is gonna be able to do so much more damage to these front line.
If the rest of their team, the rest of Flex Panther can properly play these fights front to back instead of getting away from.
Yeah.
Although maybe Thunder
My Wang gonna find.
But that's a
find
Baron call.
here.
They're rushing to Baron, and Wang knows that Wang's not gonna chase here. But Wang is so slow, and Baron has been started. Oh, this is high pressure. This is going down fast. Ezreal's gonna suss this one out. Wang, I don't know if he can get here in time to smite. They can only try to poke over the wall, but Wang will not be here in time. Will Salvo hit the smite?
Oh my goodness!
The Vel'Koz is huge, and the health bars are melting. Albino Joe and Respect live together, die together. 7-1 on Renai.
Oh my goodness!
Baron taken.
Baron Nashor fast food combo, and it comes with a bot turret and a free bot lane.
And Thunder didn't even think of coming to that fight, just establishes the pressure, and now he is going to do what he has done
Oh my
best.
goodness,
Kill
so much
Bongcrank.
damage.
Oh, Swift, your calls are so bad.
And just like that though, this game that has been teetering on a knife's edge for 30 minutes, just like that.
And the timing is so huge there. This lets them destroy this base. There's a minute left till Dragon spawns. This means they get to establish all of this pressure, utilize the Baron, and then get Dragon on their way out. Wang with the desperation. Oh, it's going to hit so many members here.
Ooh,
Can the
do
team
hit
follow
them.
up? Ezreal is chunking. Lazy Laz is down. And Salvo Tree, all they can do is run for their lives here. They may have overstayed their welcome. Salvo is being chopped, dropped to the ground. Another kill for Respect.
Yeah, that's huge. That should allow ZSA to get this next dragon. Oh, they might find a little more here.
Importantly, Salvo not going to be up before the dragon spawns. Respect going to pressure Tree here in the mid lane, but that hurts so bad for Flex Panther to be in such a good situation to be up. Tree going to pop the ult and attempt to get anything out of it, but he gets nothing.
Not ready for the Ziggs damage that goes out on the towers there, just kind of wastes the ult. Not that it matters too much here. They're giving up the dragon regardless, but this felt over. And ZSA just grabbed competition from the jaws of defeat. They are still absolutely in this game now.
Right as we talked about the game, maybe it's not as tense anymore. Here we are, 34 minutes, 3 dragons apiece.
Yeah, any objective bounties claimed.
My heart.
Your heart. Imagine those players.
I don't know, man. Like sometimes, like I'm less stressed as the player here than as the caster, to be honest. I don't know. Is it different for you, Tim? Are you normally stressed in these games?
No, I agree. It probably is more stressful. It's like when you bring that up, but every once in a while, man, there is the tension in game. When you do get tension in game, oh, it is It is something else, man.
They do manage to crack that tier 2 top lane. They're getting some nice damage into Bonkrank. Not gonna kill him or anything, but there still is pressure here. They have the side wave supers coming in, which will apply a lot of pressure. They actually still have a few. Well, there goes the Baron buff. Crash Baron Cruise one last time. I do like this out of ZSA. I mean, this is such a traditional siege comp, but they are so much more scared to do it after that last Wangle. They gotta be careful with Caitlyn showing Wang will pull the trigger. And a lot of respect out of Flex Panther here. They're backing way off. No one wants to make any mistakes.
Well, I say, we saw how expensive that last mistake was. One more mistake like the last one, and that could be
Wang
game.
able to root and knock Salvo back. He's going to have to burn the flash to get across. Albino Joe also going to have to burn the flash, get away from her eye circulation. And
those are two really big flashes off the table. Both of those champs want their flash to initiate their plays. Now, neither of them going to have it for quite a while here. Will not have it for a Baron or a Dragon fight, as we are 3 minutes away from somebody's Dragon Soul. And
But
there
they
we
don't
go.
need
Finally,
the
the
Baron.
pressure.
This base is falling.
you see the Ziggs ult coming in. Another hook landing onto Salvo. The ult from My Wang coming across. The knockup from Tree going to back them up. My Wang going back in. Get the knockback onto Xmas Tree. He's going to drop to Respect. Salvo is sitting low at the back here, but Thundercunt is in the back line ready to chase down Respect. He's able to kill My Wang, but damage coming back from Respect and from Phoenix Blaze. Not enough, though. Thundercunt able to turn around and survive just enough to get that extra bit of damage onto Bonkrank and go a 3-for-1 trade in favor of Flex Panther.
His name, it's Thunder Cunt, and he comes up so huge in that team fight. It looked so dire for Flex Panther, but Thunder goes in, zones everyone out. He's not gonna do it. He's not gonna do it. He's actually not gonna do it. He's gonna die here.
Now, but Lazy Laz ready here with the headshot.
Did he just win the game? No, there's only 4 seconds on Albino Joe, 5 on Wang. This team, they're going to see if they can crack this face here, but I don't think they can win. They got to be so careful. If they make a mistake here, they will lose a lot. But at the same time, Flex Panther, maybe...
Maokai coming out for the second time.
He's able to root Salvo. He's able to root Renai, but ultimately it's not going to be enough. God damn, that Bell caused damage back onto Albino Joe, and that surely has to tip things back into their favor. The ult is down from the Maokai. The Nautilus engages down.
Oh!
Respect goes in. He's able to get a kill out of Lazy Last. The solo kill. He's got Salvo. He's getting damage in on the side. The ult from the Zyra's not going to find anything. A double kill for Respect. Renai circulation in the Xmas tree going to need to turn tail and run. And the best player on ZSA holds the game for them.
Absolute insanity! How many times will we see Nexuses defended? But this time it actually matters. This is still a game. This is still someone on either team can take the balls off the ball here.
Yeah, we see Xmas Tree getting set up for this dragon. We have Soul on the table. Less than 1 minute.
And one of the inhibitors did respawn here. That is key for Flex Panther. No third wave of supers pressuring their base. Still going to be really hard to get out of their base here. Look at the vision. There's a lot of it there where Flex Panther wants it. But ZSA is still alive here. I mean, I need to rewatch that last 2 minutes like 5 times to break down everything that happened.
There was so much going on. And oh man.
That was the rare situation where having 3 play-by-play casters together was so good. We have 15 seconds on the Dragon here. Everyone heading towards. Dr. Mundo is in the top lane. He has a teleport available to join. I think they're giving it. They're too far. I don't think they can contest. Yeah. The creeps are too much.
You have to push in too fast into Fog of War, and that's just how you lose games. But maybe not. They decide, yeah, there's some last-minute pings. They think about it, but best. Yeah, way too slow.
Now, Joey a little bit far out front here.
Oh, no.
Watch Renai's positioning.
Oh, my God. So much energy on the Xmas tree, but it does not matter. Their support is deleted. As My Wang on the flank here. It's...
Oh, no.
My Wang going to get the ult out, going to catch a few of them, but ultimately he's just going to get ran down and murdered by the troll.
Watch out, though, the
Bonk
tanks.
trying to come in?
The tanks have been separated.
Oh my
from
god.
The damage
Wang
dealers
just
here.
leading Salvo away from the rest of the fight.
That's actually huge. Wang bought a lot of time here. I don't even know if it's huge. This is.
Nah, I think it's the damage is still done.
Lazy Lab's
That's a
able to secure
Baron.
that kill
That's a free
with the
Baron for
ult.
their team.
Yeah, as long as nothing. They just have to make sure they hit the smite here. There's Ziggs, there's Ezreal. You cannot let this get stolen.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Baron health dropping very fast. We
We're
see it
gonna
at
see it,
5k.
Ziggs.
Ezreal's
Ezreal ult's coming
close.
through.
Oh, that was
There's
so
32.
close.
That was. Oh, that was inches away.
The Ezreal ult did not hit, didn't hit Baron at all. I will
It
say
did not,
that.
no.
But yeah. Whew. That was.
Incredibly
Baron
close.
died before True Shot got there.
Yeah,
Or-
yeah. Baron died before
okay.
True Shot got there.
Yep.
Okay. I was like, you're not telling me he whipped the stationary target, right? I know
No.
this is the baddie league.
No. He had it exactly on spot. It died inches away from True Shot hitting it.
Now, Baron creeps coming. Dragon Soul with the 4 Chemtech Drakes. All you got to do is get the creeps in there and let the Baron pressure overwhelm.
Yeah,
But inhibitors will respawn soon. There is a chance that the defense here. Wang is flanking. Wang is diving in. He's trying to get out this backline. He gets the Renai, but it's not going to be enough. The Caitlyn damage is so big, and Salvo is keeping everyone away. Renai just has to ult for an execution. But
Oh
the
my
damage
God.
is too much. Renai with a second. This is going
This
to
backline.
be the end.
Lazy Laz and Renai are just putting out so much damage, and what will assuredly be the game.
And there it is. The Nexus collapsed. It was a valiant defense, but ZSA ultimately crumble. And Flex Panther, they were so worried to be playing without Tank X this week. But they get to message their jungler and say, we got you to the finals. Welcome back, my friends. We didn't need to delay shit. And Flex Panther win this 3-1. They advance to the SBL finals. And
What
man,
an absolutely remarkable game to end that series on, though. My God. My stomach hurts.
that was as tense of a game. I mean, game 3 and 4 were just absolutely awesome competitive League of Legends. And that just makes it hurt so much more that the drafts were so bad the first 2 games.
Oh, those are going to be the kind of drafts those guys are going to think about for weeks.
Years.
Years.
Because
I
Swift
agree.
won't let them forget.
That is my job.
You're going to bring it up at any given point in
Because
time.
I've
Like,
been
hey,
there.
you guys remember when you gave Salvo such 24 games in a row and then picked 80 carry or 80 carry junglers?
I remember.
How'd that
because
work?
I've been there, man. Like I have plays from I have my own misplays from 10 years ago that I remember exactly the game state, exactly what I did wrong, what we could have done to win. I know how these moments stick. Well, I mean, they probably don't stick with these people as badly as me because I'm a psychopath, but these moments, they stick, man. And you now leave this with questions. This isn't like you came in, you got washed in 3 games and you go, damn, we were the worst team. This is you leave going, damn, we competed. What if we didn't stab ourselves in the foot to start this series? And to me, like, that hurts worse than just getting washed.
Absolutely.
Oh, 100%. But Flex Panther, they have to be ecstatic here. They get to go into the finals. They get their full roster back.
Do they?
Yes.
Do they?
Yes.
No. I know Tank Axe is available.
They're not playing Salvo. It is as nice as the score lines were in this series. Salvo was not as good as Tank Axe. There is not a roster dilemma here. But before we talk about the finals, I do want to commend Salvo real quickly. He has been the target of much deserved negativity on this stream for the last 2.5 months. He, before tonight, had not done anything to really bolster his legacy this season. And to be honest, he has not done much to bolster his legacy since the SBL has come back. He is not the same player he used to be. But tonight, this this isn't the leading. If we're introducing him at the Hall of Swain, this is not the leading storyline, but this is a real stamp on the resume that he gets to hold, coming in as a substitute, playing this off role that he has just looked so lost on, and being the player his team needs him to be to keep their season alive. And I know this team was worried before today. I spoke with multiple members of this team over the weekend, had a few drinks in them, heard them feeling honest. Flex Panther was really worried because they know how much Tank X meant to their team. And every single player on this team should be so proud of how much they stepped up. Just an incredible performance from top to bottom for Flex Panther.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and every single person on that team showed up today, and it fucking showed. And you know what? I'm really glad, actually, that Salvo got to be a part of a major series for this team.
I agree.
Because there's a very, very important storyline that comes next week now. We will have, at the end of next week, one less player who has never won an SBL championship.
30 or Salvo.
30 or Salvo. One of those two.
How did I lose sight of this?
Will get to hold the flag of Swain greatness next week.
And I'm the one who coined the bench players gets rings. Salvo's not going to give a shit if that's how it has to happen.
And not only does bench player get rings, but he was a bench player that came in extraordinarily clutch when his team needed it.
I mean, I don't think this is an exaggeration. We've been doing this for 10 years. This is probably the greatest bench performance of all time. We've had Manlord the Miracle come in and solo kill Blab in a regular season game. Ha ha, funny plays. We've never seen anything like this in a playoff series where his team needed him to be the guy, and he went in there and dominated in the matchup. A guy in Wang. I mean, I was talking about the best possible roster of SBL players you could put together over the weekend, and I was legitimately like, maybe we have to put Wang in the jungle for this team to work. And Salvo went in there, he outplayed him. I am so happy for Salvo.
Such a phenomenal showing from him and the rest of the team. And that's not to take away anything from any of the rest of the plays, by the way. The phenomenal performance out of ThunderConth on not only this series but the rest of Flex Panthers' journey to the finals. And Renai, obviously the 11-1-9, 42k damage Vel'Koz to secure them this victory. Just phenomenal across the board from Flex Panther.
I mean, look at those numbers. Every single person on that team was putting in numbers as well. Like we said, 39.5k from Lazy, 35 from ThunderConth. Dude, fuck. That whole team, every single person on that team wanted to fucking win, and they played their goddamn hearts out on the Rift. And God, I am hyped for the finals now.
I'll be honest, if I'm on high expectations, I'm watching these games and thinking damn, this team they look like they are peaking right now.
Yeah.
And I did not leave the regular season feeling the same about high expectations. No. That being said, even a non-peaking high expectations sets the bar incredibly high. There's a reason that the expectations are high. And so I am super excited. I think we're going to have an awesome SBL finals on our hand. I think it's going to be a classic, and I hope I'm right. But man, I could gush about these games for so long.
What a fucking banging series! But
and we got that after how the first two games went. I'm so happy we got something to get excited about.
Absolutely. Giving ZSA just giving them enough of giving us enough of a glimpse into them potentially coming back, and even in game 4 at so many different points during the game when it seemed like everything was going Flex Panthers direction, just reverse Uno cards out of every direction throughout the game.
Yeah.
So gentlemen, I think that's going to wrap it up here. I don't think we've gushed about these players enough.
We've done enough.
We really
eulogized to the other team. ZSA, you get to go away with some pride. I've enjoyed watching you compete. Flex Panther, good luck next week. That was a shitty eulogy. Can I do that over?
Yeah, you get one more chance.
Now.
You know what I said, that sometimes you feel more pressure when you're on the broadcast than when you're playing the game?
Yeah.
Yep. Do it now. Good eulogy now. Let's go.
Cut the stream. Cut the stream. I got wow.
It's okay. I cut the stream right before. You're good.
Holy fuck.
All right, for real, see you later, everyone. Next week, SBL Finals.